Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. I got a great show for you here today between the Los Angeles Angels and the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Tuesday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, the Angels' very own Mike Trout. And on the right, the better center fielder in the game, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Los Angeles Angels. Leading off for the Angels at shortstop, Zach Neto. Batting second, playing third base, Vaughn Grissom. Batting third, playing first base, Nolan Shonowell. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing for the Angels, Jorge Soler. Batting in the 5-hole, left fielder, Wade Meckler. Batting sixth, playing right field, Joe Adele. Batting seventh, playing center field, Josh Lowe. Batting eighth, catching today for Los Angeles, Logan O'Hoppe. And batting ninth, playing second base, Donovan Walton. And on the mound for the Angels with an 8-4 record, ERA of 3.32, it is Jose Soriano. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at third base, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, playing center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, playing first base, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing tonight, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting sixth, playing second base, fresh off a game with 2 home runs, his first multi-homer game in his young career, Cole Clutch Young. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, the phenom, Colt Emerson. Batting eighth, playing left field, Victor Robles. And batting ninth, playing right field, Weston Wilson. And on the mound for the Mariners, one of our aces, 6-6 record, ERA of 4.26. It is Brian Wu. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. So every stream this season, we will dedicate it to one of my favorites of all time with Dave Niehaus. You know who he is. We love ya, Rick Riz. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. Magic number for the Mariners will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if we can get the performance like we did yesterday by Cole Young hitting 2 homers, Dominic Canzone getting the other, even though Dom's not in the lineup to start off, hopefully we'll be able to continue our hot streak with the bat with the last 2 games. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. And normally we would be playing tomorrow at 6:40 Pacific, but since they have the World Cup in Seattle, they'll take the day off tomorrow just to have soccer exclusively, and then we'll be back here at 6:40 Pacific, same time, same place on Thursday to finish up the series. Logan in the building, what's good? Joe in the building, what's good? Daniel in the building, what's good? Avery in the building, what's good? All day in the building, let's get it. Tridents up, let's go M's. Got to get off to a fast start, and again, hopefully Wu will be the good version. Hopefully he gives up 3 runs or less, but preferably 2 or less. And as long as the bats, start to stay hot and we can hit a couple homers, get a few RBIs, then hopefully what happened yesterday we'll be able to carry over here in today. Let's go, baby. Jose Soriano versus Brian Wu. Let's get it. And it's great to be able to see, our young guns, the CNC factory with Cole Young and Colt Emerson having such a big impact on this roster, with all the injuries and the poor managing and the lack of pitching and hitting at times and the poor base running. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a team with this much adversity, in the last 40 years of watching this team. But again, it's nothing that we can't overcome. We got one of the deepest rosters, even though we are banged up in the bullpen, and we just got to try to stay afloat until we get into the All-Star break. Brian Wu on the mound, Zach Neto in the box. Love in the building, what's good? Andrea in the building, what's good? And again, Neto is going to be kind of the Mike Trout of the team, while Trout is, banged up with the injury, so we just got to be careful on how we pitch to him. First pitch is low and at the knees with the sinker by Brian Wu. 94 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Matt in the building, what's good? Trident's up, let's go M's. 1-0 pitch from Wu. Big swing and a miss with the slider right down the middle, 87 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Angels and the Mariners. Let's go, Wu. George Kirby, fantastic performance last night, going 8 innings. Cole Young with his first multi-homer game, and then Dominic Canzone going yard as well. Great to be able to see those guys do what they do on a high level, and even Cal Raleigh starting to get into the mix with some RBIs as of late. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Zach Neto. 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball into right field, fading foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the first inning, 0-0, Angels and Mariners. Trident's up, let's go M's. One-two pitch from Wu. Little dribbler towards third and foul. And obviously we know with Brian Wu and George Kirby, they don't have the win-loss record that we expected at this point. But 6-6 record, ERA of 4.26. We've seen Wu be electric, and we've also seen Wu be terrible. Same thing with George Kirby. We've seen him be electric like last night, but we've also seen him look terrible this season as well. Sometimes, it's run support, but other times it's just they don't have it, And again, hopefully Wu will have it here tonight. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 4-seam fastball, high and tight, missing. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Zach Neto. Wu on the mound, Zach Neto in the box. Two-two pitch, high and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Zach Neto. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Three-two pitch. Little dribbler up the middle. Emerson is there. Nice strong throw to Naylor. A little low, but that is 1 away. Good defense there by Colt Emerson. Next up for the Angels, third baseman Vaughn Grissom. On deck is Nolan Shonowell. First pitch is low and at the knees. 4-seam fastball hitting the corner. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch fouled off behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes to Vaughn Grissom. Yeah, 20 wins as a pitcher is pretty rare. Again, not many pitchers are going to get that many starts, to get to that point. So, and obviously, if you end up getting 20 wins, realistically, then your record would have to be something like 20-4 or something of that nature if you get that many starts. And, how many guys can have a record like that? Not many. Especially the way the game has changed with the ABS and, some of the rule changes as of late. You're not going to really see too many guys get to that number. But also back in the day, people were getting 300, close to 400 strikeouts in a season, and you typically don't get that anymore either. So we're definitely in a different era. 0-2 pitch. High and inside. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the first inning, 0-0, Angels and Mariners. Hawks in the building. What's good? First multi-homer game for Cole Young, showing his clutch factor last night, which was great. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Grissom, who did not play yesterday, and that is 2 away. 2 up and 2 down. Good start here for Brian Wu, and hopefully he'll feed off the momentum of George Kirby pitching 8 innings yesterday. We could definitely use Wu doing the same thing here today. Great job there by Wu early on. Next up in the 3-hole, first baseman Nolan Shawnuel. On deck is Jorge Soler. First pitch in there for a strike, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. But it was great to be able to see Dom hit a homer yesterday. It shows how valuable he truly is, even at the DH position. And then Young going yard twice. And again, you're just going to continue to see, Young and Emerson get better and better game in and game out, month in and month out. And it's just so exciting to be able to have, 2 players like that, kind of similar to Cal and Julio and their impact when they first came onto our team, a few years ago in 2022. We're going to have a lot of improvement in this roster and hopefully get hot after the All-Star break when we get Brandon Donovan back as well. No balls and 2 strikes to Nolan Shawnuel. Let's go, Wu. 0-2 pitch. Little dribbler right up the middle. And Cole Young just can't get to it in time. Does slow the ball down, but a single up the middle there for Nolan Shawnuel. Next up in the 4-hole, DHing Jorge Soler. On deck in the 5-hole, left fielder Wade Meckler. First pitch to Soler, big swing and a miss, high and inside. Beautiful 4-seam fastball hitting the corner, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And I like the way that Wu is looking here early on. And hopefully we'll get out of this inning unscathed and we can get on the board first in the bottom of the first inning. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. Painting the corners beautifully, high and inside and low and away. This time with a slider, 86 miles an hour. Big swing and a miss by Soler. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first. Shawnuel with 2 outs. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and a great start there for Brian Wu, my man. We leave 1 runner stranded, which we like to be able to see. Good start by Brian Wu, bringing the electricity early for the Seattle Mariners. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for Seattle. Next up for the Mariners, leading off, third baseman J.P. Crawford. Batting second, center fielder, it's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. And on the mound for the Angels, 8-4 record, ERA of 3.32, much improved from last season, Jose Soriano. Tridents up, let's go M's. 28 subs to go to 24,400. Shout out to all of our new subs, our female audience, as well as everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. We're looking for our first dono on our dono train. And let's see where we're at on the likes with 124 in the room. Let's see how close we are to the halfway point early on. We're at 29. Good start. 71 to go. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. I want to see some good base running today. Hopefully we get a few bunts. You know, I wouldn't mind, seeing Victor Robles or JP Crawford lay a bunt down. Obviously, we know Young and Emerson could drop a bunt down as well. So, we got half of the lineup, and we only have one weak link in the lineup, Weston Wilson. So anything that we get out of Wilson in the 9-hole will be the same thing, just like Ref Snyder or Garver or Connor Joe or a lot of these guys that don't get a whole lot of playing time, or, when they do get in, you don't really expect a whole lot. So hopefully, he'll be able to produce. We do have Johnny Pareda and Miles Mastroboni still in AAA, so there is a chance that we can call those guys up at some point. But, we have to probably wait for an injury for that to happen more than likely. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and inside. A little bit of a wild start here from Jose Soriano. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0, Angels and Mariners. 2-0 pitch, low and away. Great at-bat here by JP Crawford, the most patient hitter on the team. Dominic Canzone, number 2. But we have seen it kind of rub off on some of the other players as of late. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike right down the middle. Four-seam fastball there by Jose Soriano. 97 miles an hour with the high heat. Ref Snyder's on the injured list. He had a sore right knee with inflammation, so he's on the 10-day IL, and I don't think that's going to hurt anybody's feelings as far as Mariner fans. Line drive to first. Shawnuel is there, and a big catch there by Shawnuel, and that is 1 up and 1 down. So just right knee soreness, a little inflammation. But again, he's the worst player on the team. I would much rather have Mastroboni or Johnny Pareda, on the squad. And obviously, maybe not realistic to have 3 catchers. But that doesn't mean that you can't have Pareda, DH, or, be a backup catcher instead of Garver once in a while. But they're going to keep Pareda and keep his skills going. But Miles Mastroboni definitely would be more, someone that we could use. And first pitch there to Julio Rodriguez, little slow dribbler, gets past the third baseman in a beautiful single there by Julio Rodriguez. I like that. Great job there by Julio. We have been seeing Julio and Naylor and Randy and Cal being kind of overly aggressive. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that time around, you get the third baseman and the shortstop diving. They both miss, and we'll take a single by Julio Rodriguez. Great job, J-Rod. Next up, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Let's go, Josh. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch is low and away from Soriano. Sinker, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Throw to first, and Julio is safe. Yeah, I don't wish injuries on anybody either, but again, obviously the weakest link on the team, and, Miles Mastroboni would be nice to be on the roster, but we're still waiting for him to get the call up. 1-0 pitch. Little dribbler towards first. Knuckle curve, 85 miles an hour right down the middle by Jose Soriano. Towards first base and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike with a runner at first, Julio Rodriguez with 1 out. And let's see if Julio will steal a bag. Now, obviously, we want to be aggressive, but not overly aggressive where we get thrown out at first or going into second. And we'll see what happens here. 1-1 pitch. Low and at the knees. Good take there by Naylor. Sinker, 95 miles an hour right on the corner. Kind of surprised they didn't challenge, but it's right there. 2 balls and 1 strike from Soriano to Naylor. Two-one pitch, knuckle curve, low and at the knees. Good take here by Naylor. Normally Naylor's already out, at this point, swinging at the first 2 pitches and popping up or grounding out. And I like this. He's on pitch 5 with a 3-1 count. And that's what you want for guys like Julio, more than likely, and Cal and Naylor and Randy. You want 3-0 counts, 3-1 counts, because more than likely you're going to get a pitch that you can actually hit rather than being in an 0-2 count or possibly in a 3-2 count and having that pressure. 3 balls and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. Take the walk if it's there, Nails. 3-1 pitch. And Naylor drops the bat as he's going to first, and he's challenging. And let's see if this actually hits the corner or not. It's going to be close. Let's see if this is a walk or a 3-2 count. Velasco says we're at 36. Appreciate you. 64 to go. Looks like it just gets the corner there. Well, we have 1 challenge remaining. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Take the walk if it's there, Naylor. Come on, Josh. 3-2 pitch. There we go. And we just got to wait 1 more pitch. A little bit of a check swing, but he doesn't go. And great job there by Josh Naylor. One of the better at-bats that I've seen out of Nails lately. And I know it's not sexy, to get walks, compared to getting singles, doubles, triples, and home runs. But one thing it is better than is striking out, popping up, or grounding out. Good job, Naylor. Now we got runners at first and second. And we have Randy Arozarena DHing today. And let's see if Randy can make the most of this opportunity. I'd rather have Dominic Canzone DHing, but, at least we don't have to worry about Randy in left field with ground balls today. And we do got Victor Robles over there, not Weston Wilson, so that makes me feel a little bit better. They got Wilson in right and then Robles in left, so it gives him an opportunity to play left and get more comfortable there. First pitch takes a strike looking with the knuckle curve right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and inside, sinker, 97 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. 1-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Knuckle curve, 83 miles an hour. Fouls it right behind to the catcher, right in front of him. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. One-two pitch, and fouls it behind the plate to the T-Mobile bricks. 96-mile-an-hour sinker, high and inside by Jose Soriano, who's got a really good record this season. Wasn't that great last season for a good majority of the year. And obviously Soriano with a much better record, obviously, here this season. 8-4 this year with a 3.32 ERA, but at least he's not a lefty. 1-2 pitch, popped up and out of play in right field. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Just whatever you do, don't hit into a double play. Let's keep the inning going. Come on, Randy. Give me a little bloop single. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. Sinker missing there by Soriano. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second. Julio at second, Naylor at first. Julio with a single towards third base and Naylor drawing a walk. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Arozarena. Pitch was low and away. Shouldn't have chased at that. And that is 2 away. Let's see if Cal Raleigh can come up with an RBI. He's been pretty good with that the last few games. Next up in the 5-hole, catching the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. On deck, my favorite player on the team at the moment. In the 6-hole, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. Let's go. First pitch to Cal, low and at the knees. Good take by not swinging at that knuckle curve going towards the dirt. 1-0 count. And patience is the key. Not only getting that really good pitch that you can take advantage of, but also getting the pitch count up of the opposing pitcher. 1-0 pitch, right down the middle for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Bottom of the first inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs. Let's take an early lead. Let's go, boys. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. Good take there by Cal. And patience is a virtue. Not everyone's got it. JP's got it. Dom has got it. And their numbers have gotten better since they've been more patient. And you have seen it trickle down to, Julio and Randy and Cal and Naylor at times. Not as often as we would like, but you definitely are seeing a little bit of an improvement. 2-1 pitch. Little dribbler towards first and foul. Splitter 93 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. 3-run jack would look pretty sweet right here, making a 3-0 lead. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and that is out number 3. Unfortunate. We leave 2 stranded, but at least we got 2 guys on, and that'll be a good sign for things to come, hopefully, in the second and third inning. End of the first inning, 0-0, Angels and Mariners. And let's see who's up next here for the Angels as we go to the top of the second. Next up for the Angels in the 5-hole, left fielder Wade Meckler. Batting second in the 6-hole, right fielder Joe Adell. And batting third in the 7-hole, center fielder Josh Lowe. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 28 subs to go to 24,400. Still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And let's see where we're at on the likes with 151 in the room, how close we are to 100. And we're at 47. We're right there at the halfway point. 53 to go. One inning pitch, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 2 Ks, 19 pitches, 15 strikes with a 4.21 ERA. Coming into the game with a 6-6 record, ERA of 4.26, and hopefully he'll get his 7th win and he'll be above 500. And obviously it's been pretty rough for Wu this season and Kirby, but Kirby was great yesterday. Hopefully Wu can follow that. And then Jose Soriano, 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, no earned run, 1 walk, 2 Ks, 24 pitches, 13 strikes with a 3.28 ERA. And Soriano with an 8-4 record coming in with a 3.32 ERA. Let's go, Woo. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Shout out to our new subs, our female audience, as well as all individuals watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. Appreciate every single one of you. First pitch from Wu to Meckler is high and away with the sinker, getting away from him. 1-0 count. Let's go, Wu. We want Wu to give up, 3 runs at the most, but preferably 2 or less. I think that's kind of the standard, for, us. But again, if a team ends up hitting a 2-run jack early, then you assume it's going to be quite a bit more unless they settle down like Kirby did and, gave up 2 runs within the first 3 innings, but was scoreless, after that for the Angels for 5 innings after that. So far, so good here with Wu as that pitch is fouled off out of play. 1-1 pitch, line drive into left, and Victor Robles is there. And a single there by Meckler. Next up in the 6-hole, right fielder Joe Adell. And on deck in the 7-hole, center fielder Josh Lowe. First pitch to Joe Adell is low and away. 1-0 count. Slider 86 miles an hour, low and away. 1 ball and no strikes from Wu to Adell. 1-0 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Joe Adell. And hopefully we'll be able to get a few double plays, to kind of bail out Wu, just like we were able to get for Kirby yesterday as well. Runner at first, Meckler. With a 2-0 count here from Wu to Adell. 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away. Slider 87 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike from Wu to Adell. 2-1 pitch, a little dribbler up the middle, right to Wu. No time for the double play. Throw to first. A nice soft throw to Naylor. Good job by Wu, and that is 1 away. Next up in the 7-hole, center fielder Josh Lowe. On deck is Logan Ohapi. First pitch right down the middle there from Wu to Lowe. 0-1 count. Top of the second inning, runner at second with 1 out. Wu on the mound, Lowe in the box. Oh, 1 pitch, and Lowe pops it up. Deep center field. Julio is there, and a good strong throw to third to keep that runner stranded at second, and that is 2 away. Good job there by Julio Rodriguez in the no-fly zone. And that is 2 away. Next up in the 8-hole, catcher Logan Ohapi. Come on, Wu. Keep that runner at second base. First pitch from Wu to Ohapi. Little dribbler towards... I was going to say towards third, but it ended up bouncing behind the plate towards the T-Mobile bricks behind him. Sinker, 95 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Top of the second inning, runner at second with 2 out. 0-0 here early between the Angels and the Mariners. World Cup action tomorrow in Seattle, so we have the day off for the Mariners, and we'll play the final game in the set on Thursday. Same time, same place at 6:40 Pacific. Pitch fouled off back to the T-Mobile bricks again. No balls and 2 strikes to Logan Ohapi. Oh-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. There we go. Nice job there by Brian Wu. Huge punch out. Longest scoreless innings pitch streaks at T-Mobile. 28 innings right there. Brian Wu, Nick Vincent, Jamie Moyer, and Felix Hernandez. And those guys, Fernandez and Moyer, at 30. Wu is at 28. So great job with scoreless innings. Only a couple more, and he'll be right up there with one of the best of all time for the Mariners, Felix Hernandez. 2 more innings after that. Let's go. Great job there by Wu. Now it's time for us to be able to take the lead and hopefully not look back. Next up for the Mariners in the 6-hole with his first multi-homer game last night, my favorite player on the team, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. Batting second in the 7-hole, shortstop, the phenom, Colt Emerson. Love Colt as well. And batting third in the 8-hole, left fielder, Victor Robles. Trident's up. Let's go, Ems. 28 subs to go to 24,400, and we gained a sub just moments ago. Appreciate you during the commercial break. 27 subs to go to 24,400. Let's see where we're at on the likes. We're at 62. We're almost there. 38 to go. Power Code in the building. What's good? Great job by Cole Clutch Young. And he's one of the most clutch hitters in the 7th inning and beyond. But again, to be able to have a dynamic duo with Young and Emerson, I've been waiting years and years for them to be finally on the roster, and it's like almost not like real to me at this point, but again, it finally, the time was right, and it took a few injuries and some other things and factors to, have it all come into play, as we had Young last season, obviously for a little bit, and then Emerson, being the rookie this year. But let's see if Cole can get his 10th homer at some point here today. Didn't get a chance to go potentially 4 for 4 yesterday, but 3 for 3. And again, with 2 homers and a single, you can't beat that. 0-1 pitch, low and away with a splitter. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Clutch Young. 1-1 pitch, fouled off towards first base and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Clutch Young. Let's go, Cole. I love two-way players that play offense and defense. Britt in the building. How are you? 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Cole, and that is 1 away. Next up in the 7-hole, shortstop, the phenom, Colt Emerson. On deck in the 8-hole, left fielder, Victor Robles. First pitch to Emerson is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully things will get a little bit better. It feels like, Jacob, that he's going to go, to the Warriors, the Cavs or the Heat, probably, either the 2 places he used to play, the Cavaliers or the Heat. But obviously if they can make it happen and get Anthony Davis and LeBron to the Warriors to try to create a super team, even though those guys are kind of getting older and that are a little bit injury prone, and obviously a little bit of a rumor with Clay coming back to the Warriors as well, but there's only so much money, but we will wait and see. But I would assume, Warriors will be number 1, Cleveland 2, Miami 3, as far as LeBron's pecking order. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Right down the middle, knuckle curve there by Jose Soriano. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Soriano to Emerson. And obviously for us Blazer fans and fans in the Pacific Northwest, we're still waiting on Aaron Gordon or Jaylen Brown to join John Morant, Damian Lillard, Denny Advia, and then obviously with Klingon at the center position. And a little blooper up the middle and a beautiful hit there by Colt Emerson. Oh no. When did that happen? Did that happen today? I'm so sorry. I can only imagine. And we know how important, dogs and cats are, they're, our family, and for some people, it may just be a pet, but for others, it's family, it's, me being a dog father and, having a dog daughter. It's legit, especially, for individuals, regardless if you, have kids or you don't, it definitely is a tough situation. And I'm sending hugs to you, from here all the way to the East Coast. I'm so sorry. First pitch from Soriano to Robles, fouls that one off. 0-1 count. Mike in the building. What's good? Yeah, absolutely. I'll be watching tomorrow since the Mariners will have the day off. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes from Soriano to Robles. Bottom of the 2nd inning, runner at first with 2 outs. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and inside. Not the greatest at bat there for Robles. I would like see him to drop a bunt down, and again, not the sexiest thing to do all the time, but again, there's certain guys that could take advantage of it, like JP and Victor Robles, and that is 2 away. Two weeks ago, really? Do you know how it happened? Did you ever get like a cause, like the reasoning? Big swing and a miss there by Weston Wilson, right down the middle with a knuckle curve, 0-1 count. I'm so sorry. I mean, anytime you end up losing, a pet, it's not easy. And Emerson's trying to steal the bag and takes his hand off as he has the momentum going past second, but then gets back into second and gets the hand on the bag as the second tag goes over. And we'll see if they challenge that there. And hopefully Emerson is safe. Didn't really get the biggest jump there. I mean, Paisley is so important to me in my life, and again, I can only imagine, Looks like Emerson does get back to the bag in time after the second tag. And Emerson with the stolen bag didn't have the greatest jump, but at least he got there. And we got a runner in scoring position now, but an 0-2 count. Soriano turns around, looks at Emerson as he scampers back to second. Safe. O2 pitch. Low and away. Good take there by Weston Wilson, the former Oriole. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0 Angels and Mariners. One-two pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Soriano to Wilson. And also, if it ends up happening, sooner than you expect. I mean, it's one thing if you have a senior dog or senior cat, and they're, 10, 15, 20 years old, then it's still heartbreaking, but, you kind of know time is, kind of going against that particular, pet family member. But when it ends up happening, with, 8 years or less or 5 years or less, then it's a big shocker, I can only imagine. And down goes Weston Wilson, and that is out number 3. Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. End of the second inning, 0-0 Angels and Mariners. All right, let's go to the top of the third inning and see who's up next here for Los Angeles. Next up for the Angels in the 9-hole, Donovan Walton. Batting second, back at the top of the order, 0-for-1 shortstop Zach Neto. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, third baseman Vaughn Grissom. Trident's up, let's go M's. 27 subs to go to 24,400. Still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And let's see where we're at on the likes with almost 200 in the room. We're at 76, 24 more likes to get to 100. Jack in the building, what's good? Yeah, I'm going to know when Mexico scores because my neighbors are Latino and they got a big party going on next door. So they got the music going on the back porch and, my walls are not super thin, but again, I can hear them. And so every time that there's like a pretty close, goal attempt and I can hear the screams and whatnot and the oohs and the ahs and whatnot. So, but anyone that is watching World Cup action, if you want to, type in the chat anything that's going on, feel free. Top of the third inning, 0-0 Angels and Mariners, and we won't have a Mariners stream tomorrow because obviously the World Cup is playing in Seattle, so they don't want the traffic and the accommodations to overlap. So the last game in this Angel set will be actually on Thursday. So we will have no stream tomorrow, and the last game in the set will be on Thursday, 6:40 Pacific, and then we got a 3-game set against the Blue Jays for the 4th of July weekend. Really looking forward to that series because I will be going to the 4th of July game, and hopefully I get a foul ball. 1-0 pitch popped up there by Walton into left field. Victor Robles is there. Nice catch there by Victor Robles in the no-fly zone. And that is 1 away. Good job there by Victor Robles with the defense in left. Normally he plays right or center, so good to have some experience playing all outfield positions. Next up, leadoff hitter, shortstop Zach Neto. And with the Mike Trout injury, this is the batter that we have to worry about the most out of the 9 that are in the lineup game in and game out. You know, he's the guy that's most likely to homer, most likely to get a single, most likely to get an RBI. And again, he's approaching 20 home runs, which is very good for him at this point in the season, you know, pacing for 35 or 40 homers. And for a guy that's, you know, really not that well known in Zach Neto, that's huge for him, you know, stepping up, obviously, and having a good year so far. 18 home runs and 40 ribbies, only a 226 average, but, you know, still, you know, 18 and 40 is pretty good for him. And that's in foul territory. And they reach over Robles, but it ends up bouncing. You know, they're off the netting and obviously on the guardrail, and it bounces back into the crowd. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 0-0 Angels and Mariners. Yeah, Randy's not in left today. It's Victor Robles, so Randy's only DHing today, so. And a line drive towards third and foul. Anything that's going to be, you know, an effort play, Victor's going to make it. I mean, he sacrificed his body and injured, you know, pretty much almost the whole year last year as he was diving, you know, full speed into the netting and ended up hitting the wall, you know, barrier, you know, and ended up really injuring his shoulder and arm. So, you know, you would never see Randy do anything like that. So Victor is in left. So anything in that area, you know he's going to go after it. Even if that means if he has to kind of jump into the crowd, which he did, you know, but he wasn't able to get the ball. Top of the third inning, 0-0 Angels and Mariners. You know Julio's going to give that effort. Now, we don't really know what we're going to be getting in right field since we have Weston Wilson out there, obviously our weak link in the lineup and someone that usually doesn't play right field, you know, but we'll see how he does out there. Hopefully there's not too many balls hit in that area. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the third inning, 0-0 Angels and Mariners. Wu on the mound, Zach Neto in the box. O2 pitch, popped up and out of play with the sweeper, high and inside. 83 miles an hour, high and tight. No balls and 2 strikes to Zach Neto. Oh, let's go. Mexico with the goal. Let's go. What is it, 1-0? Yes, sir. O2 pitch, line drive towards third and foul. O2 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour missing. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Zach Neto. Neighbors are going crazy. One-two pitch, low and at the knees. Change up, 90 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Zach Neto. Two-two pitch, foul back to the T-Mobile bricks. Count still remains 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the third, 0-0 Angels and Mariners. They got Julio obviously in center. They got Robles in left today for the first time. Usually you don't see him in left. It's usually center or right. And they're deciding to play Weston Wilson in right field today. We'll see how that experiment goes. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Neto. I like that. And that is 2 away. Next up, in the 2-hole, third baseman Vaughn Grissom. Great start here for Brian Wu. You definitely are feeling it rubbing off the George Kirby start from yesterday. And, obviously we know that Wu and Kirby typically, are in the top 3, with Logan Gilbert normally, right? But then Bryce Miller and Emerson Hancock really improved drastically this season. Wu and Kirby have been good and bad and kind of taken a step back, but look like they're getting back on track. Castillo obviously is the worst, but his last start was one of the best that he's had all year. So, everyone's really locking in. And Mooney, has looked pretty good in his last couple outings as well. So things starting to kind of even out, and hopefully we can get everyone on the same page as we get closer to the All-Star break and beyond. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Grissom. Yeah, usually Weston Wilson, the new pickup from the Orioles, he usually plays like third. So for him to be in right field, I think it's kind of an experiment and whatnot. But, I'd rather have Miles Masterboni, on the squad than Weston Wilson, So not really sure why we haven't called Masterboni back to the team, considering he can play, almost every position except for, catcher and pitcher, but... that's Dan Wilson in the organization for you, I guess. We can't get everything that we want. I really would like to see Pareda and Masterboni both on the squad. I think they are very deserving. Even if that means we have to roster 3 catchers, Pareda is the man. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Vaughn Grissom. Let him know all day. Still looking to see our first here on the channel tonight. Top of the third inning, 0-0 Angels and Mariners. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. And Wu's only given up 2 hits. And again, when we know Wu is terrible, usually he's giving up, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, sometimes in 1 inning. And, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 runs within a few innings. And so far, looking pretty good. And usually with our pitchers, it's not like they're bad, inning in, inning out, and big strikeout there for Brian Wu. Usually with our pitchers, for the most part, they're really good until 1 inning, right? And then that 1 inning kills us. It's where they give up like 3 to 5 runs, no matter if it's Castillo or someone like Kirby or Wu. So it's like lights out, lights out, lights out. And then all of a sudden, the walls crumble and they give up 4 runs. And then all of a sudden we're in a hole because we can't get hits or RBIs. And then a lot of times we can't come back. But within the last couple games, we've been able to hit 4 and 6 runs. So now the bats are starting to heat up and we just got to hope the pitching can match. And so far, Kirby and Wu looking pretty good. And hopefully Wu will be able to go 6, 7, 8 innings. He's at 48 pitches, so more than likely he's only going to go 6, maybe 7, but still, that'll be amazing if he can end up, keeping up this pace. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and it's about time that we get on the board. What do you say? Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 3rd baseman J.P. Crawford. Drop a bunt down if needed. Batting second, 1-for-1, center fielder Julio Rodriguez, who had a single towards third. And batting third, 0-for-0 with a walk, first baseman Josh Naylor, one of the more patient, at-bats that I've seen out of Naylor in the last couple weeks. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 27 subs to go to 24,400. We're at 24,373, less than 700 subs away from 25,000. We are over 6.1 million views on the channel and had our single highest dono, $1,500 by Odin's son just a few weeks ago. Shout out to Odin. And we're at 87 likes. $13 to 100. If we can get 13 people out of 195 to hit that like button, we'll be at 100. And I really want to see JP or Robles drop a bunt down. Not to say that Cole Young and Cole Emerson, they could do it as well. But I'd really want to, get a bunt drop down. And again, you can end up getting a single or a double off a bunt if you lay it down right, especially if that throw is wild to first. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. The most patient hitter on the Mariners, J.P. Crawford in the box. 1-0 pitch, high and away, knuckle curve missing. 2 balls and no strikes from Jose Soriano to J.P. Crawford. Right hands up. Let's go M's. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking with the knuckle curve right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, out of play. Two balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. And we normally don't bust out the moose till later in the game when we're down or we really need something. But, hey, we can bring him out early for good luck. Never hurts. Usually when we do, good things happen. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off towards first base. Out of play. Splitter, 92 miles an hour. Low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 3rd inning. 0-0. Angels and Mariners. Come on, Mariners. 2-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. We know J.P. can do it defensively, but we need that bat to heat up. Let's go, J.P. 3-2 pitch. Just gets a piece. Little foul tip towards first and foul. Count still remains 3 balls and 2 strikes from Jose Soriano to J.P. Crawford. 3-2 pitch. And JP with a good at-bat here. That's fouled back to the T-Mobile bricks. Count still full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 3-2 pitch. Little dribbler towards first. This is a really good at-bat for JP, getting the pitch count up on Soriano. That was pitch number 9. And next pitch will be pitch number 10. And a lot of times when guys get up in this high pitch count, they strike out or pop up. But let's see if JP can fight that adversity and get a single here. Or force a walk. 3-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards first and foul. And it looks like he might have deflected that off himself a little. Hopefully JP's okay. Splitter, 93 miles an hour. Mexico scoring again. Here we go. 2-0 Mexico. Coloring in the building. What's good? Bottom of the 3rd inning, 0-0 Angels and Mariners. JP's now on pitch number 11. Let's go, JP. Great job getting the pitch count up. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Got fooled there on the knuckle curve, but that's a good at-bat, though. Get that pitch count up, for Soriano, so hopefully we can get him to exit early, earlier, and they can have someone else come in. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. On deck is Josh Naylor. And he's at 52 pitches so far, so. And Julio with a little dribbler towards first, flip back to the pitcher, toe tap on the bag, and that is 2 away. Next up in the 3-hole, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Let's go, Nails. Would have liked to see Julio be a little bit more patient at that at-bat, but he was overly aggressive and got a single, on the first hit. So he decided to kind of be overly aggressive again. But at some point, you got to be able to, work the count a little bit. First pitch to Naylor from Soriano, and a little dribbler up the middle. And that is out number 3. So again, you had Julio overly aggressive on his first, 2 at-bats, got a single, and then a little ground out towards first. Naylor with a really good at-bat, drawing the walk in his first at-bat, and then doing the same thing Julio did, swinging at the first pitch and making it easy for Soriano. I just wish that our batters had a little bit more consistency. If you were able to draw a walk the first time, Naylor, why not wait until you get to pitch 4, pitch 5, pitch 6? You might be able to get walked or hit a home run, but I guess that's what we have to deal with some of our guys. End of the 3rd inning, 0-0 Angels and Mariners. All right, let's go to the top of the 4th inning and see who's up next here for Los Angeles. Next up for the Angels, 1-for-1 in the 3-hole, first baseman Nolan Shawnuel. Batting second in the 4-hole, 0 for 1 with a K, DHing Jorge Soler. And batting third, 1 for 1 left fielder in the 5-hole, Wade Meckler. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 27 subs to go to 24,400. Still waiting on our first dono on our dono train. And let's see where we're at on the likes. We should be at 100 by now, or very close to that number. Let's see where we're at. We got 200 in the room. Where are we at on the likes? Are we at 100 yet? We should be close. We're at 94. Can we get 6 people to hit that like button and we'll be at 100? 94 likes. We need 6 people out of 200 and we'll be there. And that'll help with the metrics and the analytics. Mexico up 2-0 on Ecuador. Great job there by Mexico. 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40 plus years on the radio. Riz is retiring after the season, so we dedicate every stream to this legend and icon, one of my favorites of all time besides Dave Niehaus, Rick Riz. We love you. Shout out to our female audience, our new subs, our OGs, as well as everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. And Brian Wu, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 5 Ks, 48 pitches, 36 strikes with a 4.13 ERA, 6 Ks, obviously on the flip side for Soriano. And first pitch from Wu is popped up to Nolan Shonowell. And guess what? Julio Rodriguez is there. No fly zone in full effect. And an easy out there, and that is 1 up and 1 down. We'll take that all day. Shonowell pops up to Julio, and that is 1 away. Next up in the 4-hole, DHing Jorge Soler. On deck is Wade Meckler. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch is low and away. Slider 86 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Wu on the mound, Jorge Soler in the box. 1-0 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to Soler. And we've seen Wu, have a batter, get a hit or get on base, one time, in one early inning, one time a little bit after that. But again, a 2-hitter so far for Soriano and for Wu. So far so good. It's kind of a pitcher's duel here early on. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle with a sinker, 94 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike from Wu to Soler. 2-1 pitch in there for another strike looking. Slider there by Wu looking strong. 85 miles an hour right down the middle. 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 4th inning, 0-0 Angels and Mariners. I think it will, especially when we get Donnie back. We're always better after the All-Star break, so it's just kind of a damn shame we have no Brash, no Cooper Criswell, and no Carlos Vargas. That's really the thing that's hurting us the most is depth in the bullpen, and then obviously not having Donnie hurts, but JP is a guy that is filling the role quite nicely. We could have someone a little bit better defensively, but JP is a pretty good hitter, overall. So 3-2 pitch popped up, and Weston Wilson is there in right field, and that is 2 away. Next up in the 5-hole, left fielder Wade Meckler. On deck, right fielder Joe Adell. First pitch is low and away. Change up 89 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Yeah, and also, it doesn't help, running splits. But at least Ref Snyder's hurt, so we don't have to worry about him, and Connor Joe's in AAA. So some of those weak links are no longer there. I'd rather have Pareda than Garver, but again, I guess we can't, beggars can't be choosers. I would like Master Boney on the squad as well, but The lineups have been a little bit better, based on some of the injuries and guys that got sent down to AAA, like Connor Joe. So, we don't have to worry about, horrible lineups with Garver, Joe, and Ref Snyder in there. And a little slow dribbler up the middle. Emerson is there. Throw to first. Beautiful. And that is out number 3. But again, we're going to have moments where the defense is great and also where the defense is terrible. We're going to have moments where the base running is great, and we're going to have moments where the base running is terrible. We're going to have moments where pitching and bullpen are amazing, and we're going to have moments where the hitting is terrible. So again, we're going to go through those peaks and valleys, and it's just about trying to come together, the best that we can, until we get to the All-Star break. And then once we get Brandon Donovan back at third, we can have him as our leadoff hitter, and hopefully he can regain his early season form. And if he's able to do that, that would really give us a big lift, offensively and defensively at third base. So, and obviously that puts JP kind of on the outside looking in, but that doesn't mean that he won't get a chance to play. So. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and it's about time that we get on the board, and I haven't seen anybody bunt yet. And again, anytime you end up getting into a pitcher's duel and it's kind of slim pickings, someone's got to drop a bunt down. I know it's not the sexy thing to do. It's like drafting an offensive lineman in the first round over a quarterback, running back, or wide receiver. Offensive line isn't sexy, just like bunting isn't sexy, but sometimes you got to do it, and it will end up helping you win, just like drafting a good offensive lineman if it pans out. All right, next up, 0 for 1 with a K, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, catcher Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. Fresh off his first multi-homer game. Let's see if Cole can get us going. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 27 subs to go to 24,400. Less than 700 subs away. Less than 600 subs away from 25,000, which is amazing. Still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And let's see where we're at. We should be over 100 likes now. We're at 110. Thank you so much. 90 to go. We're at 110 likes, 90 to 200. And it's going to be a battle for the top spot. But honestly, as long as we make the playoffs, that's all that matters. We want to win it, but again, if we end up getting the second spot and we're in the wild card, as long as we get in, that's the main thing. But obviously winning the division should still be the priority. And it's going to go up and down, between all the teams. And honestly, I wouldn't even be shocked, if the Astros creep up and at one point before the season is over, hell, they might even be able to get to first place. It may not be for a long time, only like a day or two, but again, if you're looking at the gap, the Astros, the Athletics, the Rangers, and the Mariners are very close to each other. Really, the only team that's not is the Angels, but the Angels play the other teams in the division very well, and they usually play us well. It's kind of like when we play the Royals and certain teams where, our record might be a lot better than them, but that doesn't mean that we're going to sweep them or beat them up. There are certain teams that know how to play us well, and the Royals and Angels are two of those that really have our number. Takes a knuckle curve right down the middle. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Soriano to Arozarena. It's like you never can count out Houston. It just seems like no matter how shitty they are, at some point they get going. And we're having a challenge here. This is either going to be strike 3 or a walk. Angels challenge. Oh my God, look at that. Right on the corner. And that is going to be strike 3. Wish Randy would have bunted there, but call is overturned. And instead of a walk, it turns into strike 3, and that is 1 away. Next up is the Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. You're due for a home run. And on deck is Cole Clutch Young. And I think it also shows you, when we play games, without Donnie, it's hard to win. And we've been trying to do the best that, we can without him. But then also how hard it is to win when Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone aren't in the lineup right away. If we give them an at-bat late in the game, sometimes they can come up big, but it's also better for them to get, 3, 4, 5 chances, to be able to help us win. And when we don't have Luke and Dom in the lineup, it's really hard to get things going. Not to say that we don't have enough talent to win games, but, it shows how good Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone have been for us, game in and game out when they play. We need them. 0-2 pitch. Low and away. Splitter, 92 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the big dumper at Cal Raleigh. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-2 pitch popped up. And in foul territory, Sean Noel is there, and that is 2 away. Yeah, but the thing about bunting, though, nobody practices bunting defense. So if you drop a bunt down correctly, and you don't have to be the fastest guy, sometimes the throw is high or low. Sometimes the first baseman drops it. And then if that ends up happening, or the throw is high all the way into the dugout, sometimes you can turn a bunt into a double, or you can make it a single and you can end up being safe. So especially when, things are slim pickings and there's not a whole lot of hits going on, sometimes you got to be able to kind of go outside the box. Little dribbler here by Cole Young. Underhand throw, little flip, and that is out number 3. But obviously having speed will help if you are bunting for sure. USA and Bosnia. All right, it's end of the 4th inning, 0-0, Angels and Mariners. Both the teams right now struggling a little bit hitting-wise. Each pitcher has a 2-hitter, no errors. So luckily, we've been pretty clean on defense. But again, we haven't really been able to get the rhythm going without Dom or Luke in the lineup, especially Dom. Dom is so essential to this team's success. All right, next up for the Angels in the top of the 5th, 0-for-1 right fielder Jo Adell. Batting second in the 7th hole, 0-for-1 center fielder Josh Lowe. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, catcher Logan Ohapi. But at least we're not down 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, because again, we have seen Woo, look really bad this season, and he's looking good today. So, definitely feeding off the momentum of George Kirby's start yesterday, going 8 innings. Let's go to the top of the 5th. We're knotted up at 0, but again, once the starting pitchers go out, the game should open up. And hopefully we'll end up winning this game 3-2 or 3-1. Gained 2 subs since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. 25 subs to go now to 24,400. And we're at 119 likes, 81 to go. And Jack gets the dono train going. Appreciate you. There's always got to be a first person, to get it started, and it doesn't matter if it's $1 or $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 or as much as 1,500. You got to be able to start it somewhere. And I appreciate you, Jack. $2 holla. 98 to go. Appreciate you. Jack is our MVP so far, getting the dono train started. 98 to go. And there always has to be that first person. First pitch is high and inside by Woo to Adell. Sinker, 94 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Tried in sub. Let's go, M's. 1-0 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Jo Adell. And again, for, the Angels and what they're doing with Soriano, 8-4 record with a solid ERA, under 4. 3.32 ERA with an 8-4 record. That's one thing. But again, I'm just really happy that Woo is matching, that type of intensity by Soriano, considering he's 6-6 this year. So you just don't really know what version of Woo you're going to get, game in and game out. But hopefully he'll get hot like Kirby did yesterday. 2-1 pitch. Little dribbler up the middle. Emerson is there. Throw to first. Oh, wild throw. I don't know if that was on Naylor or on Emerson. And now runner goes to second. Safe. I need to see a replay. Is that an error on Emerson? Or is that an error on Naylor? I don't know. That might have been on Naylor. I need to see a replay to see if that throw was the reason. Emerson. Yeah, that looks like it's on Emerson. Naylor reached for it, and bad throw by Emerson, which doesn't happen often. Should have took his time. He was running and throwing instead of stopping and throwing, and that's an error there by Emerson. Come on, Colt, you got to be better. Emerson's got to make up for that error later in the game. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count, and hopefully that doesn't affect Wu, And normally Young and Emerson aren't going to have too many errors. You got to remember, Young is in his second year, Emerson is a rookie, so there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but they're both going to be phenomenal players for this organization for, many, many years, 5, 10, 15 years. So hopefully they can get some of those jitters out and recognize, when they need to be able to stop, and then throw instead of running and throwing at the same time. Sometimes the trajectory isn't going to line up. And we know Naylor is pretty, athletic as far as long arms, long legs. He's going to give you a better chance to get outs than Ty France or some of the other guys we've had at first. So you just got to get it in his area. And unfortunately, on some of the errors, by Young, Emerson, and JP, they're just out of reach, even for Naylor. 1-2 pitch from Wu to Low. Popped up and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes with the runner at second and no outs. Top of the fifth, 0-0 Angels and Mariners. And again, if, Colt started on the team at the beginning of the year, he probably would be number 1 in home runs. I mean, if you look at his at-bats, he's got a third of the at-bats, and he's already at 7 home runs. So realistically, if Colt would have started, day 1 on the team and started at shortstop, he probably would be at like 14 or 15 home runs, maybe 16. And again, already at 7. And he's only been playing for about a month and a half. So, it's probably safe to say he'd be at, 15, 16, maybe even more, at that point. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops in a full season going into next year. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Low. But there's guys on the team that have, 7, 8 home runs, but have 200 more at-bats. So again, with the limited at-bats, yeah, he's been on a little bit of a slump, as of late, going 0 for 3, 0 for 4, but that doesn't mean that he can't, get hot at the right time. 3-2 pitch, and that goes into the dirt. And now Wu with a little bit of a log jam. Now runners at first and second with no outs, and that error by Emerson, not ideal. And now we got to be able to get a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. This is the inning we need to bail Wu out after the Emerson error, that ends up turning a single into, well, realistically, it should have been an out, but then it turned a single into a double based off the throwing error, and then you get a walk on the next batter. Now we got to get O'Hoppe out here. And now O'Hoppe shows bunt and pulls back. 0-1 count. Come on, Mariner defense. Oh, 1 pitch. Squares up for a bunt. Little dribbler towards third. Tag the bag. There we go. Good awareness by J.P. Crawford with the fielder's choice at third. And that is 1 away. And again, if J.P. would have thrown to first and it ended up being wild, then runners would have went to second and third. So there's going to be kind of a time and a place where that you shouldn't throw. And I'm really happy that JP tagged the base and did not throw, because if he throws and it ends up going over the head of Naylor, then instead of runners at first and second, they're at second and third, and they probably score. So, you have to have that kind of awareness. Can I make this play, or, can I just take the 1 out? Good job there by JP. 1 away. Let's keep those runners stranded at first and second. Let's see if we can get a slow dribbler up the middle for a double play. First pitch by Wu to Walton, fouls it off, out of play, 0-1 count. Yeah, Young and Emerson are both phenomenal. I haven't been this excited for 2 players since Julio and Cal. And again, that changed the organization for the better. And now we get another dynamic duo. It's exciting. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Woo to Walton. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We need the defense to step up. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 1-1 pitch. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Woo to Walton. Brian Woo on the mound. Donovan Walton in the box. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 2-1 pitch, little slow dribbler towards first and foul. Slider 87 miles an hour. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Top of the 5th, 0-0. Angels and Mariners. Let's go, Woo. I miss Gino. We just don't, have enough money, to keep Gino and Polo and whatnot. Gino obviously had great vibes, and I like positive, players like Gino and Robles, and, it rubs off on the other players, but sometimes based on a guy's age and salary, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Little line drive to center. Get it, Julio. Nice catch. And the no-fly zone is there, and that is 2 away. Good job there by Julio Rodriguez. And also, if you're looking at, Gino's numbers defensively, his numbers aren't as good as they were when he was on the team first time around. And obviously, when we got him last year, he can hit a lot of home runs. But as far as defense, sometimes he's a liability. He doesn't really make the same plays as he used to when he was younger. And obviously, we know Father Time is undefeated. But obviously, Gino is still a player. If he can stay healthy for a full year, could definitely hit, somewhere between 25 and 50 home runs, just depending on how hot he gets at certain times of the year. So, top of the 5th inning, runners at first and second now with 2 outs. And we got a good mound visit here by Cal Raleigh. And this is a good time to have a second manager on the field to not only give Woo a breather, but also to get on the same page to try to get this last out. I mean, there's a lot of people, that, from the old school era that would be great on this team. Kyle Seager on this team would be great. Felix Hernandez instead of, Luis Castillo would be phenomenal. Obviously, Nelson Cruz, and one of my all-time favorites that's kind of under the radar, Raul Ibanez, right? So we had a few nice players, in that 20-year drought where we didn't make the playoffs that would be really good fits on this team right now. And a little dribbler. Flip from Naylor to Woo, toe tap on the bag, and look at the defense. Let's go. Great job there by Woo. Even though Emerson ended up having that wild throw, it doesn't hurt us, and we're still at 0-0. Great job by the defense. And great job there by Naylor and Woo. 31 scoreless innings by Brian Woo. He just set a record for the Mariners. Felix was number 1 at 30 scoreless innings in a row. Woo's at 31, so he just broke the record. Great job by Brian Woo. Even in a tough year this year, he was our number 1 pitcher last year. And honestly, if Woo was healthy at the end of the year, we beat the Blue Jays, and who knows if we beat the Dodgers. If Yoshinobu Yamamoto goes 3 times and Woo goes 3 times, who's to say that we don't compete, especially as good as Woo was last year, and that was really the difference. If Woo was healthy, who knows if we end up making the World Series or winning it. Realistically, the Dodgers are a very, very deep team, and we probably would have lost, but who knows, what would have happened. I mean, the Blue Jays took it to 7 games. Who's to say that we couldn't have done the same thing as well? But great to see Brian Woo do Brian Woo things. All right, now it's time to get back in the box, and we got to make up for that error. And let's see if Colt Emerson can do it right here. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the 5th, 1-for-1. Shortstop, Colt Emerson. Let's see if you can get a home run or get a big base hit. Let's go, Colt. Got to make up for that error. Batting second, 0-for-1 with a K, left fielder Victor Robles. Drop the bunt down. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, right fielder Weston Wilson. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We gained another sub since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. 24 subs to go to 24,400. We're at 2 on the dono train from Jack. 98 to go. And let's see where we're at on the likes, how close we are to 200. We are at 130, 70 to go. And there we go. Emerson making up for his error. First pitch, slaps one into left field, and Emerson going 2 for 2. Nice job there by Colt. You know, he's like, man, I messed up with that error. Let me get a base knock. And now he's 2 for 2 today. Good job, Colt. Fantastic player. Next up in the 8-hole, left fielder Victor Robles. Drop the bunt down, move Emerson over. And here we go. Robles drops the bunt down, but it goes foul. 0-1 count. Looks like he got my message. Bottom of the 5th. Runner at first. Emerson with no outs. Let's go, Robles. Oh-1 pitch, takes a ball low and away with a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike to Victor Robles. One pitch and a laser towards third and foul. Jose Soriano on the mound. Victor Robles in the box. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first. Emerson with no outs. Let's go. See if we can get Robles on base. One-two pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Soriano to Robles. Yeah, Gino's on the Reds. Two-two pitch, and a little blooper in his shallow center, and that is 1 away. Down goes Robles. Would have really liked to seen a bunt, attempt continued at that at bat, but 1 up and 1 down after Robles goes down. Next up is Weston Wilson. You don't really expect anything out of Weston Wilson or Mitch Garver or that type of player, but let's see if Wilson can make the most of his opportunity here today. I mean, even him getting on with a walk, or hit by a pitch, as long as he doesn't get hurt, would be great, but we got to get better players, on the roster, especially when you got guys like Pareda and Mastroboni that are proven that they can be better players. It's like, why are we rostering, shittier players, when we have guys in AAA that could help this team win? They may not be able to play every day, but I would rather see Pareda, in this, position, or obviously he can't play right field because he's a third catcher, but Pareda over Garver. But you could have Mastroboni, playing over Wilson, any day of the week. Mastroboni was playing really well after filling in for Ryan Bliss. Doesn't really make any sense. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. I mean, if I want to be able to see a guy swing and miss 3 times, we already got Rob Refsnyder, but he's on the injured list. So, it doesn't really make any sense having these lower tier rostered players that can't really do anything. All right, next up is J.P. Crawford. Let's see if J.P. can get a 2-out rally going. On deck after J.P. will be Julio Rodriguez. Come on, baby. First pitch is high and away. 1-0 count. And then obviously once both starters exit, the game will open up, and who's ever bullpen is better is going to win. Soriano's got 8 Ks. Woo's got 5. Woo's at 77 pitches, and Soriano's at 74. So they're still going to go for a couple more innings. Unless one of them gets roughed up, and hopefully that'll be Soriano. 1-0 pitch fouled off there by JP. 1 ball and 1 strike to JP Crawford. And we really could be using Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone. Yeah, well, anyone that follows baseball, Louise, knows they're the hottest team in June. So it's either, you follow one team or you follow the league, and it's good for them, normally not the greatest team, but again, even teams that are at the bottom in years past can, end up getting better. I mean, look at the White Sox. Obviously a bottom feeder, and then they get Munetaka Murakami, and then now they have an identity, even though he had the hamstring injury. But, it made guys better like Miguel Vargas, the former Dodger, Colson Montgomery, and now the White Sox believe they can make the playoffs. So sometimes all it takes, is getting one player, added to the team that can be a dynamic player, whether it be from Japan or from the draft, and, things change for the organization. 1-2 pitch, and JP with a little dribbler towards first and foul. Yeah, and it's not even really like a hot take. It's just like, look at the wins and losses, Sometimes, there's going to be like hot takes, like, oh, this team is like the best team, in this month, but other times you can just look at the win-loss record and, oh, yeah, they definitely have been hot. Throw to first and safe. So Mariners got 3 hits. Angels got 2. We got the error by Emerson, but he is 2 for 2 today. But again, the lack of home runs, lack of RBIs, but it has been a pitcher's duel. And thankfully, we're not down 3-0, because sometimes when Wu is off, that's where the score would probably be right now. But, he's pitched well today, feeding off the momentum of Kirby yesterday, going 8 innings. And now it's just up to the, batters to kind of go outside of the box. If you're not being able to get going, drop a bunt down. I mean, it's the one thing that could end up, turning the game around. 2-2 pitch. Foul tip. And that goes into the catcher's glove, and that is strike 3. All right, end of the 5th inning, 0-0, Angels and Mariners. And once the starters go out, it'll be another ball game, guaranteed. Next up for the Angels, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks in the 2-hole, third baseman Vaughn Grissom. Batting second, 1 for 2, first baseman Nolan Shonowell. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, DHing Jorge Soler. Trident's up, let's go M's. 24 subs to go to 24,400. We're at 2 on the dono train, 98 to go. And let's see where we're at on the likes. How close we are to 200. We got 283 in the room. And we are at 137. All right, we're at 137 likes, 63 to 200. All right, so let's look at the pitcher's stats right now. Well, we used some of our top guys yesterday, so there might be an advantage for the Angels in this game if we go with some of our AAA guys. And the last time that we went was with some of our AAA guys, we had a 4-1 lead, and then we ended up losing, obviously 5-4. So, when you end up giving up 4 runs or 5 runs, in the 8th or the 9th inning, it's not ideal, but we will see who decides to come out. But 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 77 pitches, 53 strikes, 4.04 ERA. And then for Jose Soriano, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks, 81 pitches, 54 strikes with a 3.15 ERA. So both guys are going to go, obviously 6 innings, and then we'll see what happens in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. It'll be a sprint. I would assume the Mariners will go with like Nick Davila, since he didn't pitch in the meltdown game. At some point he's got to pitch. But, again, you got Spire as well that could, potentially pitch as well. So, we'll see if we have righties or lefties, and I assume that's the route that we'll go, Maybe go with Davila first and then Spire, or Spire and then Davila, and then kind of go from there. I mean, we don't really want to see a whole lot of Rucker or Simpson because they were the ones that had the meltdown, and Hoppy's in AAA. So, but again, it really does show you the injuries to Brash, Vargas, and Criswell are killing us. And it could be solved by calling up Cade Anderson or Ryan Sloan, but they're too stupid to do it. They want to wait it out, but at some point you got to be able to pull the trigger. Otherwise, if you wait too long, we're going to be in a position where, you don't want to be in like third or fourth place. We're not in that spot now, obviously, because we know the American League stinks and the American League West is not very good, but, would love to be able to see, Anderson and Sloan in the bullpen. Because again, I think that those two guys, even though, if you're in, single A, high A, double A, even if you're not in triple A, based on how those guys have pitched, they're better than Rucker. They're better than Hoppy. They're better than Simpson. And hell, I think that they would be just on that same level with Bizzardo and, Spire and Ferrer, and maybe even sometimes better, especially Cade Anderson. I mean, the guy is ridiculous. Eventually, Cade is going to be in the starting five. And a little slow dribbler, throw to first, and that is one away. They'll start, obviously, Cade and Sloan in the pen. Cade will get called up this year. Sloan probably next year. But again, Cade is so good that eventually he'll, be in the starting five. And, we assume Castillo will not be on the team next year. And then there'll still be, 6 pitchers for 5 spots. But, give it some time. And it wouldn't shock me, at one point or another if Cade ends up eventually, being one of the top 2 pitchers on the team. And we don't have a lefty starter either. And that's going to be really exciting once he kind of makes his progression like Brian Wu did, starting it off in the 5 hole and then gradually moving up to the 4 and now the 3. And honestly, if he didn't get injured at the end of the year, Wu probably should have been our opening day starter over Gilbert. But, it's just about that progression. Slowly but surely just getting better and better and better. First pitch from Wu to Shonowell. Fouled it off, 0-1 count, as they show a whole section with their shirts off and swinging them like Petey Pablo out there. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Shonowell. One pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Wu to Shonowell. Yeah, and plus they're old, with Polo and Gino. It's like, at some point you got to be able to go with the youth movement, and it was smart not to, re-sign those guys. Got to have a nice blend of, young and, vets. Little line drive to Naylor, flip to Wu, and that is 2 away. Good defense there and teamwork by Wu and Naylor. And then you got that section with everyone swinging their T-shirts like a helicopter, Petey Pablo style. They're in the upper outfield in section 307. And you got quite a few fans out there. Looks like maybe about 100 or just under 100. They got about 10 or 15 rows of 10 people deep rocking the Petey Pablo. Hey, whatever it takes to get us a win. Next up is Jorge Soler. First pitch to Soler is a strike on the corner, high and away. Oh, 1 pitch. Low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Soler. 1-1 pitch from Wu. Hard hit ball into left field. Robles is there, and that is out number 3. Let's go. All right, it's time to get on the board. Obviously it's been a really great pitcher's duel, but something's got to give. But it definitely shows you how tough it is with no Rayleigh and Canzone in the lineup. Got to find a way here. 32 consecutive scoreless innings. That's a Mariners single season record, which was held by Felix Hernandez with 30, and now Wu's at 32. Great job. All right, next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. We could really use a solo dinger to get us going. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a walk. First baseman Josh Naylor. Hopefully his third at-bat will be similar to his first at-bat, and he's patient in the box. And batting third, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, DHing Randy Arosarena. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. Gained another sub moments ago. Appreciate you. 23 subs to go to 24,400. We're at 2 on the dono train, 98 to go. And we're at 142 likes, 58 to 200. Julie in the building. How are you? All right, so Woo's at 90 and Soriano's at 81. So, and obviously Woo's pitched 6 and Soriano's at 5. So, I mean, at this point, they're both getting pretty close of exiting, and maybe one more inning or at least one more batter. Unless they just call it for Woo. But I mean, we're at 0-0 right now. You might as well let Woo pitch to at least one more batter. And Julio Rodriguez on the first pitch. And did they catch that? Oh, he dropped it. There we go. Just can't get a grip of it. And we'll take that. Wade Meckler dove for it and tried to cradle it. But Julio Rodriguez, overly aggressive today, swinging at the first pitch, 3 at-bats in a row, but is able to get 2 singles. And Meckler almost had it and just dropped it there. It actually dropped right in front of his mitt. And Julio Rodriguez with a single. Here we go. See if Julio can get a stolen bag. Next up is Josh Naylor. I mean, if we can end up doing what Robles did a couple games ago, steal second and steal third, and then put us in a good position, to be able to get that RBI single, which would be great. But we don't want to be overly aggressive because, again, the base running at times has not been the greatest. Bottom of the 6th, runner at first, Julio. First pitch to Naylor is low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, little dribbler towards first and foul with the knuckle curve. 84 miles an hour there by Jose Soriano. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first. Julio with no outs. Let's go. Right hands up. Let's go, M's. It's about time we get something to go our way. Jose Soriano on the mound. Josh Naylor in the box. One pitch, big swing and a miss. Splitter missing there by Naylor. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. And again, once both starters go out, it'll be whoever's bullpen is better is going to win this, whether it be 1-0, 2-1, or 3-2, or 3-1. Again, I still think that there's going to be some big plays that could happen, and obviously it might be a little bit of an advantage, for the Angels, unless they go with Spire and Davila and they pitch well, but we'll see what happens as we go in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. But again, the Angels bullpen definitely has a few weaknesses that we could take advantage of as well. So, but at the trade deadline, we'll definitely be buyers for the bullpen. But Kate Anderson should definitely fill a spot. 1-2 pitch. And Naylor with a blooper, shallow center field. Yes, and it drops. Here we go. Now we got runners at first and second, baby. All right, here we go. Nice job there by Naylor. They tried to jam him, and he still ended up getting a single in shallow center field. Julio at second, Naylor at first. Let's go, Randy. I would love to see Randy bunt towards first base, and so runners can get to second and third, but I don't know if Randy's got the skill set to do it. We don't need him to hit into a fucking double play, but unless he ends up getting hit in the shoulder, or if he ends up getting walked. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but, and I got Silseth warming up, a righty in the pen. We can take advantage of him. Chase Silseth. But now you got bottom of the 6th inning, runners at first and second with no outs. This is the best chance that we've had to score all game. And first pitch to Rosarina into right field, out of play, 0-1 count. And again, you don't want to bunt towards third when you have runners at first and second because you're trying to get runners at second and third. You don't want to do that. But again, if you're a right-handed batter, you have to be, kind of on point with, the bunting skills. And I'm not really sure if Randy would be able to do it. I mean, every baseball player can bunt to a certain degree, but, more than likely you're not going to get it out of Randy. But he might be able to get walked or even get a bloop single. And who knows? Maybe an unexpected home run or RBI would be great. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Rosarina. But the way that Randy has been swinging lately, it kind of feels like a strikeout, but hopefully he can, at least work this count a little bit more. 1-2 pitch from Soriano. Little dribbler towards third. Yes! And it skates through. Go, go, go. Run, Julio. Run, Julio. Run, dive. Yes! 1-0 Mariners. Woo! There we go. That's my boy. And again, for a guy that's pretty shitty on defense and left field on ground balls that has a tendency of hitting into double plays, Randy Rosarina getting a nice one there into left field, scoring Julio from second, Naylor getting to second. Great job. Now runners at first and second with no outs, baby. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, and Julio Rodriguez showing the speed, scoring from second with a feet-first slide. 1-0 Seattle. Tridents up. Let's go. And anytime you can rough up the starting pitcher, and then if we get Chase Silseth, then we can make things happen. And now Soriano's day is done, and they're going to bring in Silseth, and hopefully Cal Raleigh hits a 3-run jack right here. And if we make it 4-0, we're going to be going into the L column whatsoever. Let's go. Great job roughing up. I mean, it took a long time, to get to this point, to finally rough up, Jose Soriano. But again, you just got to be patient. Great job. And now Chase Silseth is coming in, and luckily it's not going to be a lefty, it's a righty. And sometimes this is just how baseball is. You got to wait till the starting pitchers go out sometimes, and then it's a sprint in those last 3 innings. All right, next up is Chase Silseth coming in here for the Angels, and I know we can rough him up. And we got runners at first and second for big dumper Cal Raleigh. Cal doesn't even need to hit a home run for us to win. Just get on base. But if he could get an RBI like Randy did and make it 2-0, then the guy that can really open up the game, if Cal doesn't homer here, Cole Clutch Young, who homered twice yesterday. Let's go. And then after that, Colt Emerson. So if we can get to Emerson in this inning, it might end up being 3-0, 4-0, and we're not going to be looking back. Let's go. Tridents up. Let's go, Ems. Zach from Bremerton in the building. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And again, just great to be able to see Randy finally stepping up, instead of striking out or hitting into a double play. Sometimes, he is the most consistent hitter from the beginning of the year, but as of late, you kind of feel more times than not that he's going to strike out or hit into a double play, and then you got to hope that he gets, hit by a pitch but not hurt or get walked. But he's definitely an overly aggressive, player on the Mariners, and again, great job there by Randy Rosarina, batting .305 with runners in scoring position, even though lately it's been kind of hit or miss. And Naylor gets back to second and safe. But I'm really happy that Randy got it going. All right, bottom of the 6th with runners at first and second and no outs. Chase Silseth enters the game, the righty. And hopefully we can rough him up as well. First pitch to Cal, going for a moonshot. 0-1 count. And again, Cal doesn't have to hit home runs for us to win. He can end up getting RBIs and go for single, double swings instead of home run swings. And that's something that he's going to have to learn. We'd rather get you a single or a double than a strikeout or a pop-up. 0-1 pitch from Silseth. Up behind the plate to the T-Mobile bricks and foul. No balls and 2 strikes from Silseth to Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Silseth on the mound. Big dumper in the box with runners at first and second and no outs. Let's go. We got to fully take advantage of this inning and try to score 2 to 4 runs. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Splitter missing, and good defense there by Ohapi smothering that baseball. A double steal would be nice, but again, we don't want to, kind of push our luck. We've been pretty good at it, when we've attempted it, in the last couple weeks. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Silseth to Raleigh, but I'm not sure if I would want to do that against Ohapi if Naylor is at second trying to get to third. He's not the fastest, obviously player. We know him and Cal, can steal bags, but obviously 2 of the slower guys on the team. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Good take there by Cal. Count now is full after that splitter misses by Silseth. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runners at first and second, and no outs. Bottom of the 6th inning, 1-0 Mariners. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Come on, Cal. 3-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. He's going to challenge. I don't know if he's going to win this, though. Looked like it might have painted the corner just barely. But we'll find out here in a moment. And it is strike 3 confirmed. I think we're out of challenges now. Or is it a walk? Oh, wow, it's a walk. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Bases loaded. We got lucky there. I like it. I like it. All right, here we go. Next up in the 6 hole, second baseman with bases loaded, Cole Clutch Young, who homered twice in his first multi-homer game of the season in his career. And now they got a mound visit, and I wonder if Silseth is already out. You have to have a certain amount of batters you have to pitch to before they can take you out. But great challenge there by Cal Raleigh. And now we got bases loaded with no outs. Cole Young with an opportunity for a grand slam or an RBI. And then we got Colt Emerson, who's 2 for 2 today. Have a chance for him to go 3 for 3. And that's what Young did yesterday with 2 home runs and a single. And then after that, we got Robles. And then obviously it kind of drops off to Weston Wilson. So we just got to try to do our very best with what we have. And let's see if Young and Emerson, CNC Factory, can really make them pay. And again, with bases loaded and no outs, we should be able to get a minimum of 1 more run, but hopefully 2 to 5 if we can continue the rally. Let's go, Young. Cole Clutch Young in the box with bases loaded and no outs. First pitch fouled off towards first base, out of play. Splitter 86 miles an hour. 0-1 count. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Now it's about being patient in the box, even forcing a walk and having that runner come over from third to home. It may not be the sexy thing compared to a big RBI single, RBI double, or home run, but again, anything to help the team win. Pitch is low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Chase Silseth to Cole Clutch Young. One pitch. Foul back behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Silseth to Young. One-two pitch. There we go. Young, drop, baby, drop. Yes, let's go. Young with a big RBI. Come home, Naylor. Go, go, go. Woo! Let's go. 2-0 M's. Let's go. They don't call him Cold Clutch Young for nothing, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And again, my favorite player on the team, Cold Clutch Young, a great two-way player, offense and defense. Same thing goes for this guy, the rookie phenom, Colt Emerson. 2 for 2 today. Let's make it 3 for 3. Let's go. Plus, we need payback against this Angel team that won 2 out of 3 against us at the beginning of the year with the Joe Adell game when we lost 1-0 and Joe Adell robbed 3 home runs. So they are due for a little bit of payback. There's no doubt about that. I haven't forgotten. 0-1 pitch, wild pitch, go, go, go. And another run scores. Let's go. Meltdown by the Angels. Randy scores 3-0 M's. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. And again, a wild pitch. And again, we've had that, happen obviously with us, and again, we're taking advantage. 3-0 Seattle. Runners now at second and third with no outs. And again, we might be able to get to 5, 6, 7 runs in this inning if it keeps going like this. Let's go. That's not going to hurt my feelings one bit. And again, it showed you, how the game can be 0-0 for 6, 7 innings, and all of a sudden the game can open up just like that. But again, if you were watching this game, for the first 5, 6 innings, you wouldn't have expected it to be this, but that's what makes baseball special. If you can rough up the starter at the very end of their run, the bullpen comes in, you rough them up, and then all of a sudden, you could be looking at a game that was 0-0 for the whole game, and now, 3-0, so. One-two pitch, and obviously that call got overturned for strike 3, which we were looking at hopefully a 2-2 count, but that is 1 away. Next up is Victor Robles. First pitch to Robles, big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. Come on, Victor. And obviously we got our weaker part of the lineup now with Robles and Weston Wilson. So anything that we can get out of them, even if we can squeeze out one more run, would be huge. Bring that runner home from third. 0-1 pitch, little dribbler towards third and foul. It's like you almost are hoping that you can end up getting Robles or Wilson to get hit by a pitch and not injured or walked. So that way we can just get some freebies here. But not to say that Robles and Wilson can't get a hit, but, 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Silseth to Robles. So we can get another wild pitch. I wouldn't mind that. Bottom of the 6th inning, runners at second and third with 1 out. 3-0 Mariners after it was 0-0 for, 5 innings and a good chunk of 2 hours of this game. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees as Ohapi cradles that into the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Silseth to Robles. So Orosarena singled to left. Rodriguez scored from second. 1-0 Mariners. And then Young got a big single to right with bases loaded. Naylor scored, making it 2-0 Mariners. And then Orosarena scored on a wild pitch from Silseth, making it 3-0. So it just that Uncle Mo and that momentum. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. Let's see if Victor can draw a walk here. Three-two pitch, fouled off, out of play. Four-seam fastball, high and inside. Count still remains 3 balls and 2 strikes from Silseth to Robles. Mendo in the building, what's good? Three-two pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Robles. If he just wouldn't have swung, it more than likely would have been a walk. But again, I guess that's, it is what it is. It would have been right on the corner. 4th of July patriotic bucket hat giveaway. Can't wait to get mine. It'll be the only game that I go to in person this season. And hopefully I'll be able to get a foul ball, let alone the bucket hat as well. All right, last opportunity here for the Mariners to add on. Let's see if we can get one more run if we can. Next up is Weston Wilson. First pitch to Wilson, big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. I would have rather had this be Miles Mastrobuoni, but Mastrobuoni in AAA. We got runners at second and third with 2 outs. Come on, Weston, give us a single. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Silseth to Wilson. Hit by pitch, walk, wild pitch. It's just something to at least try to get 1 more run. One pitch from Silseth, and a little dribbler towards third and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning, 3-0 Mariners. Roughed up Soriano at the end of his run. Roughed up Silseth. 1-2 pitch. High and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Weston Wilson. Come on, Weston. 2-2 pitch. Wilson, yes! He gets a single. Unbelievable. Come home, come home. That might score 2. Let's go. Woo! Oh, my God. A 2-run RBI single by the worst player in the roster in the 9-hole. Weston Wilson. 5-0 M's. Let's go. That's making the most of a good opportunity there. Great job. You did something that Victor Robles couldn't do. And not only do you score 1, you score 2 off that RBI single. 2-run RBI single. Weston Wilson. Let's go. 5-0 M's. And that's 3 games in a row that we've scored 4 or more after having 12 to 13 games of 0 to 3. The bats are definitely alive now. It's awesome. Next up is J.P. Crawford. Let's see if he can get his first hit of the day. 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. On deck is Julio Rodriguez. J.P. goes for a bunt. Hops up. And out of play. Let's go, baby. We're back. We're back. Great job there by Weston Wilson. And on top of that, he's playing right field. Normally he plays third base, when he ends up getting a chance to play. So, they moved Victor to left, and he hasn't made any mistakes. Wilson in right field, and he comes up with one of the biggest plays of the day. That's a good thing to see. And stolen bag. Let's go. Who knew that Weston Wilson from the O's could steal bags? And I guess we're seeing it right now. Not only does he get an RBI for us, not 1 but 2, with that 2-run RBI single, but he steals a bag, which we haven't really seen a whole lot of that today either as well. Great job by Weston Wilson, my man. Way to make the most of your opportunity. Especially when you're only going to be playing once in a blue moon. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Let's go. And obviously with the World Cup coming to Seattle tomorrow, we'll have the day off. And then we'll be in the last game of this set on Thursday. And the only reason that happens is usually because of the World Cup. And obviously it normally isn't in the United States, so it's kind of a first. 2-1 pitch. JP with a dribbler. Oh, just foul. I was really hoping that would be his first hit of the day. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Let's go. And for the longest time, we had no runs, 2 hits, and an error. And they had no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. And again, a big 5-run inning. And again, we know what it feels like to have a meltdown. We had a meltdown just a few days ago, where we ended up giving up 4 runs with a 4-1 lead and losing 5-4. So it doesn't feel good, to have a meltdown, but it feels damn good to score 5 in a single inning, considering the bats. We hit 6 yesterday, and now we might end up even surpassing that here today. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Good take here by J.P. Crawford. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second with 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th, 5-0 M's. Let's go. We got Brent Suter warming up in the pen. Should be able to get our likes and our dono train going after this inning, I assume. 3-2 pitch. And that's strike 3 looking, and the inning finally ends for the Mariners, but not after. We end up scoring 5, and that's probably the maximum that we were thinking that we could score in that inning, and we did it. Great job there by the Mariners. Shout out to Randy Arozarena for getting that single to left, scoring Julio. Young with bases loaded coming up. Cole Clutch Young scoring Naylor from third base. 2-0 Mariners. Arozarena on a wild pitch. Obviously scoring there, 3-0 Mariners, and then Weston Wilson out of all people, getting a single to right, scoring Cal Raleigh and Cole Young. Unbelievable. 5-0 M's. Rick Riz is fucking loving it. Great inning. One of the best innings of the year. End of the 6th inning, 5-0 M's. 23 subs to go to 24,400. Less than 600 to go to 25,000. Gained 2 subs since the last commercial break. 21 subs to go to 24,400. We're at 2 on the dono train, 98 to go. And let's see how close we are to 200 likes with 341 in the room. We should be getting close to 200. We're at 158. $42 more likes to get to 200. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Shout out to our female audience, our new subs, as well as everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. Next up for the Angels, here in the top of the 7th, 1 for 2, left fielder Wade Meckler. Batting second, 0 for 2, right fielder Joe Adell. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a walk, center fielder Josh Lowe. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And Woo's at 90 pitches, and he's just at the 4 ERA point, so he can get his ERA sub 4 to the 3s pretty soon here. And they still got Woo out there. First pitch high and away to Meckler, 1-0 count. Goldie with the stash. 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike on the corner. Meckler is challenging. Call is confirmed right on the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike to Wade Meckler. Great to see Woo have a great start. No surprise, though, after, what happened yesterday with George Kirby going 8 innings, having 2 home runs by Cole Young and 1 by Dom. And Dom and Luke Raley aren't playing today, or at least not yet. I don't think Luke is in uniform, and I'm not sure if we're going to see Dom later in the game or not. And a nice single for Meckler into left in front of Victor Robles. And you have to assume that Woo's day is going to be almost done here as he approaches 100 pitches. And next up is Joe Adell. And now we have Bizzardo warming up in the pen with Michael Rucker. And Rucker and Simpson were the duo that had the meltdowns. So we don't want to see Rucker. I'd rather see Bizzardo. And where's Nick Davila at? I mean, Davila hasn't pitched in a minute. I'd rather have him than Rucker or Simpson. And hell, Hoppy is better than Simpson, and that's who they swapped for. But you could always bring up Kate Anderson. And now Cal is having a mound visit here with Woo to try to settle him in. And let's see where Woo's at pitch count wise. He's at 94, so he's almost done. So they're going to try to get this last out, I assume, and then Woo's day will be done. And then they'll bring in Bizzardo for 2 innings or 2 outs. So maximum pitches for Woo is 104 in his career. But I think they just want to try to get this last, out. So there'll only be 2 outs to get, for whoever comes in, Rucker or Bizzardo. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss there by Joe Adell. Sinker at 95 miles an hour, right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and no outs. Top of the 7th inning, 5-0 Mariners. We love that, baby. I mean, considering the season that we've had, we really have to appreciate, games like this, especially when you can score 5 runs in a single inning. When we had 0 to 3 runs for 12 or 13 games in a row. Then we had 4 runs with a 4-1 lead, had a meltdown, lost 5-4. But then we put up 6 runs yesterday, 2 home runs by Cole Young, first multi-homer game, Dominic Canzone with a dinger, and then obviously today, pulling out all the stops. 2-1 pitch popped up. Weston Wilson in right field with the catch, and that is 1 away. And is Woo's day done, or are they going to let him keep going? Woo's at 97 pitches. And looks like he's going to get 1 more at-bat here. 1 more batter to potentially get after, and maybe then Bizzardo can get the last out. All right, last but not least, hopefully for Woo here, maybe a quick out, hopefully. In the 7-hole center fielder, 0 for 1 with a walk, Josh Lowe. Got to be careful, though. Lowe can get hits. First pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. 0-1 count. And obviously there is a chance for the double play with a slow dribbler up the middle to get out of the inning, which would be best case scenario for Woo. And then you don't even have to use Bizzardo or Rucker until the 8th. And I assume we're going to see Munoz in the 9th. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Woo to Lowe. And after having, one of the 2 worst games of the season with the Padres loss, it's, giving up 5 in the 9th and losing that game when we had a lead. And then obviously having a 4-1 lead and losing 5-4 a couple days ago. Yesterday's game felt really good, and today's is looking pretty fucking nice. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees from Woo to Lowe. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first with 1 out. Top of the 7th inning, 5-0 Mariners. Trident's up. Let's go, Ems. Come on, Woo. Finish strong. One-two pitch. Popped up and out of play. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Woo to Lowe. Trident's up. Let's go, Ems. 1-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. Slider, 87 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Top of the 7th, 5-0 Seattle. Logan O'Hoppe on deck. 1-2 pitch. And looks like a little foul tip on himself. That was a nasty sweeper. Just got a piece of it. And where is Woo at? Woo's at 103 on the pitch count, so 9 Ks for Soriano before we roughed him up, and Woo only with 5 Ks, but he's got his ERA below 4 for the first time in a long time. It's at 3.99. I like that. Hopefully we can get that into the low 3s and high 2s before the season is over, which I think, there's a good chance. 1-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. Long at bat here. They did beat us, though, 2 out of 3 earlier in the year. So, they may not have a good record, but they play us well more times than not, like the Royals. They could have a, 15 below 500 record, kind of like the Angels, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy for us. A lot of times when we play the Royals and Angels, more times than not, it's a battle, but today, so far, so good. But, our bullpen has to do their job as well. 2-2 pitch. And a line drive base knock into right field. Fuck. And now runners are on the corners, and now you got to pull him. And that's it for Woo. All right, Woo's day is done, and hopefully we'll be able to get a double play to end the inning. And I know Woo wanted to finish, but ends up having his career high 106 pitches. And again, now Bizzardo is coming in instead of Rucker, which is the smart move. You would assume that hopefully Dan is smart enough to bring in one of the vets rather than a AAA pitcher, but you never know with Dan Wilson. Good job, Brian Woo. Just like George Kirby going 8 innings yesterday, a solid 7 innings by Brian Woo. Good job. Great job, Ryan Wu. Most scoreless innings in a row by any Mariner pitcher of all time. Great job. All right, final line for Wu, 6.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 106 pitches, 71 strikes, 3.99 ERA, and that looks much better on him. You know, he's too good of a pitcher. Normally when you think of Wu, you think of an ERA in the high 1s, low 2s, or maybe mid 2s, not high 2s, high 3s, or high 4s, but you know, obviously it's been pretty tough for him. But let's see if Eduard Bizzardo, 1.96 ERA, can pitch well here, and we can get out of this mini jam and keep them at 0. All right, Eduard Bizzardo. Let's go, baby. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Next up is Logan O'Hoppe. First pitch in there for a strike to O'Hoppe. 0-1 count. Nice sinker there. Oh, 1 pitch fouled off, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and third and 1 out, top of the 7th inning, 5-0 Seattle. Oh, 2 pitch, and Bizzardo gives up a hit, and they get their first run of the day. Not ideal. You know, you would hope that guys like Bizzardo and, Spire and Ferrer could step up in the absence of Brash and Cooper Criswell and Carlos Vargas. But unfortunately, sometimes the guys that we want to trust, end up being like Rucker and Hoppe and, Simpson and, guys that are AAA guys, and they play like it sometimes. And Bizzardo was our best player in the pen last year, but not this year. And unfortunately, they're not going to fire Dan Wilson or DePoto anytime in the future. And again, there's not like there's a lot of amazing managers that are out there. It's not like football where you can promote a offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, or get someone from college to come over. They rarely bring anybody over from college in baseball, even if they win a natty. It's usually just former players in a cycle that they hire and fire. And out of 30 teams in baseball, there's only really like 4 or 5 good managers in baseball, unfortunately. So we're going to be kind of stuck with them. 0-1 pitch. I mean, hell, unless they were smart enough to fire him and make Ichiro the head coach, and then, bring in Randy Johnson and Ken Griffey Jr., even though they're professional photographers, but bring those guys in with Edgar as well. And then you have a dream team coaching staff. 1-1 pitch. And a hard hit ball into left field, out of play, but I'm not sure if Ichiro, Griffey, or Randy would be willing, to take on that role. Obviously, they all have other responsibilities. But you do see Ichiro in full uniform, and how often do you see a player that is retired, still in full uniform, helping the team? He is a rare breed, Ichiro Suzuki. 1-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. Fan base would love having Ichiro as the manager, I'll tell you, though, because then you can have Edgar and him on the same page, bring in Ken Griffey Jr. to help out with the hitting, Randy Johnson to help out with the pitching. Yeah, they're professional photographers, but if they could put that kind of on the side for a little bit, and then you have Ichiro, Edgar, Randy, and Griffey, man, things would be amazing. Pitch is high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Walton. 2-2 pitch, popped up, and out of play. Runners now at first and second with 1 out. Thankfully, we're at 5 rather than only being at 1-1 or 2-1. Just got to find a way to be able to get these last outs here. Two pitch. And Bizzardo looking shitty here. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Walton. And Bizzardo used to be one of the worst, and again, to be able to go from one of the worst in the pen to the best last year just doesn't really have the consistency this season, even though his ERA is good. But, I mean, sometimes that can be a little misleading, based on how a player has been playing lately. Pitch fouled off down the middle there by Walton. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Walton. But we still have a top 6 pitching staff and a top 6 bullpen, even with no Vargas, Criswell, or Brash. But, we definitely are missing them. 3-2 pitch and a walk. Jesus Christ. Bizzardo, you stink. Fucking bases loaded. You already gave up a run, and we still have only 1 out. You stink, Edward. What the fuck happened? I mean, if we wanted fucking bases loaded, we could have brought Rucker in, a AAA guy. What the fuck happened to you? Call up Kate Anderson. Again, how long are we going to go with below average, mediocre bullpen pitching? Especially with Ferrer, Bizzardo, and Spire. If we can't trust them and we can't trust AAA guys, with Davila and Hoppy and fucking Rucker and Simpson, like, what the fuck are we waiting for? Can't we get at least one guy that we can fucking trust to get outs? And, Cade is one of the best in the farm. It's like, how long are we going to goddamn wait? I don't trust anybody in the fucking pen. Not one motherfucker. I think Cade would be better than any of the guys that we have on the team right now. And that's saying something with Bizzardo and Spire and Ferrer. Normally they're pretty fucking good, but I don't trust them. And I sure as hell don't trust Hoppy or fucking Simpson or Rucker. At least Davila has got an ERA of 0, but, he walks a lot of guys. Come on. First pitch to Neto, low and at the knees, and they got bases loaded, and with 1 swing, the game can be tied. What the fuck are we doing? Top of the 7th, when we had a 5-0 lead, it just evaporated. Bases loaded now with 1 out. Come on! And moving Castillo to the pen isn't the fucking answer either. Can't trust him to get the job done on a consistent basis either. 1-0 pitch, high and away, and I don't think the wave is the right time right now for the fans. If anything, that's going to end up fucking up Bizzardo even more. 2 balls and no strikes with bases loaded and 1 out. Jesus Christ, Bizzardo. 2-0 pitch. Jesus, finally a strike. Sinker down the middle, 96 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike with bases loaded and 1 out. We need a double play bat. Two-one pitch. Little dribbler up the middle. Fuck! And we can't get it. Of course we can't. Another run scores. 5-3 Seattle. You stink, Bizzardo. Bum. Jeez, if we lose this game, this is going to be one of the worst losses of the season, and we already had one of those just a couple days ago. Jesus. I mean, if we wanted a meltdown, we could have just brought in fucking a AAA guy. Or let Wu go to pitch 140 till his arm fucking falls off. And Grissom flies into right field. Oh, what a cow. He dropped it. Fuck. And there's a log jam there. So Weston Wilson dove for it, and I thought he had it, but then dropped it. But at least we end up getting another out. And that is 2 away. And we were trying to see if we can get the double play there, but man, Jesus. We need to be able to score a few more runs, to feel comfortable, considering now it's 5-3. We need to get to 7 or 8, but Weston Wilson diving, and it was in his mitt and fell out, but at least he had the awareness to throw to second to at least get an out. Well, yeah, Bizzardo gave up the home run to Springer, but he was our best bullpen pitcher last year. Next up is Nolan Shonowell. First pitch is in there for a strike. Now we got runners at first and second with 2 outs. Can't let them score anymore. Already giving up 3 runs is fucking ridiculous. 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball in the left field, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Top of the 7th, 5-3 Seattle. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do a wave, you don't do it when the pitcher's having a goddamn meltdown. And I get it, it's a fun thing to do when you're at the ballpark, but you got to have fucking some awareness. 0-2 pitch, and he steps off the mound. But I don't trust Bizzardo. I don't trust Gabe Spire. I don't trust Ferrer. Maybe I trust Gabe the most out of anybody in the pen right now. And then him and maybe Nick Davila. 0-2 pitch, line drive. Julio is there. And finally, out number 3 as Julio chucks it into the no-fly zone. Bizzardo, you fucking stink, you bum. Giving up 3 runs. Booty cheeks. Thankfully, we're at 5. Imagine if we were only at 1 or 2 and then now we're down. Maybe we don't come back. Thankfully, we actually had a 5-run inning. But the last thing that you want is after an amazing game, from Brian Wu, Bizzardo giving up fucking 3. And he's supposed to be one of our top 3 in the bullpen. Look like a AAA pitcher there. Yikes. All right, now it's time for us to be able to make up for Bizzardo's fucking mistakes. And hopefully we can add on a few more runs because we're going to definitely need to. All right, next up for the Mariners. Let's see who's up next. And hopefully we can make up for that shitty performance by Bizzardo. Next up, 2 for 3 with a run. Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run into base on ball. First baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI and 2 Ks, Randy Arozarena. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Gained another sub since the commercial break. 20 subs to go to 24,400. All right, 2 on the Dono train, 98 to go. See if we can get a Dono train going here before the game ends. And let's see how close we are to 200 likes with 311 in the room. We're at 177, 23 more likes to get to 200. Mexico wins 2-0. Congratulations, Mexico. Suter is in the game. First pitch to Julio is a strike. 0-1 count. Brent Suter in. Pitch fouled off there by Julio. No balls and 2 strikes from Brent Suter to Julio Rodriguez. 0-2 pitch, line drive up the middle. There we go. And Julio with his 3rd hit of the day. Great job there by Julio Rodriguez. Next up is Josh Naylor. Naylor showing bunt, pulling back, 1-0 count. Brent Suter, the former Red, on the mound, the lefty, here for the Angels. And Josh Naylor in the box. Throw to first. Julio is safe. And Julio back at first. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Bottom of the 7th inning, runner at first, Julio Rodriguez with no outs. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. 1-1 pitch, high and away. Paints the corner there on Naylor, takes that strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Suter to Naylor. Sinker 88 miles an hour, high and away. 1-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. Slider goes into left field, out of play. 78 miles an hour, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first. Julio Rodriguez with no outs. 5-3 Seattle. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. One-two pitch, popped up and out of play. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Bottom of the 7th, runner at first with no outs. We've got to make up for that 3-run meltdown by Bizzardo. We've got to try to get back at least 1 or 2 runs if possible before the game is over. I would love for us to get to 7 or 8 runs. You know, we want that insurance because we don't really know what's going to happen, you know, in the 8th and the 9th. But it doesn't make you feel good, you know. No Vargas, no Criswell, no Matt Brash, and then you got guys that normally we can trust, you know, with Ferrer and Spire and Bizzardo, and sometimes we can't. And then you got AAA guys the rest of the way. 1-2 pitch, and he reaches for that and doesn't get it, and that is strike 3. And that is 1 away. Next up is Randy Arosarena. On deck is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Would like to see Dominic Canzone get a chance to pinch hit here late in the game if possible. First pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Suter to Arosarena. 1-1 pitch, and hard hit ball by Randy, left field drop. Oh, he dropped it, yes, go, 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 run, Julio, yes, and Julio gets the third. And a similar play like Weston Wilson in right field where he dove for it and had it and dropped it. This one, you know, was it running real full speed there by Meckler and had it on the mitt and it dropped right at the end. And a great job there with a little bit of luck. Randy Arosarena, and thankfully Meckler couldn't, you know, really grip the mitt. And he had it right in his mitt, squeezed, and it jumped out, and we'll take it. Julio at third, Randy with a double. Great job. There we go. And now we need Cal to be able to finish it here. Let's see if we can get a single, double, or a home run by big dumper Cal Raleigh. And then we already know after Cal gets on, Cole Clutch Young will definitely get someone home. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, takes a strike, 0-1 count. And then after Cal Raleigh, we got Cole Young and Colt Emerson, and I like the duo of the CNC Factory. Young and Emerson are money. 0-1 pitch, popped up, and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes from Suter to Raleigh. But even if Cal ends up striking out, popping out, or grounding out, you know, there's a pretty good chance Cole Young can score, you know, that runner from second and third, you know, or at least the runner at third, Julio at the very least, to get it to 6-3. 0-2 pitch. And that is strike three. Down goes Cal, kind of what I thought was going to happen. All right, here we go. My favorite player on the team in the 6 hole, second baseman Cole Clutch Young, a guy that can play offense and defense. On deck, his buddy, the phenom, Colt Emerson, on deck. Let's go. Multi-homer game for the first time in his career by Cole Young, and they don't call him Cole Clutch Young for nothing. Let's go, Cole. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. Let's go, Cole. Bottom of the 7th, runners at second and third with 2 outs. Come on, Young. 1-0 pitch, high and away. Good take there by Cole Clutch Young. 2 balls, no strikes. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. Obviously, if he hits a 3-run jack, the game is over more than likely. But, even getting an RBI single or an RBI double would be big here. Two-0 pitch, just gets the edge. Two balls and 1 strike from Suter to Young. Come on, Cole. Two-1 pitch, pop behind the plate to the T-Mobile bricks. 2 balls, 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th, 5-3 Seattle. Come on, Cole. Next 2 jerseys in the collection are definitely Young and Emerson. 2-2 pitch, popped up. Go out of play, please. And out of play into the 5th row. Count still remains 2 balls, 2 strikes from Suter to Young. Two-two pitch, low and away. Good take. Number 1 on the team with RBIs, Cole Young, for his 2nd year on the team. That's phenomenal. All right, here we go. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Cole Clutch Young, and we got Colt Emerson on deck. Let's go. Let's get it to Emerson. 3-2 pitch, hard hit ball into left field, fading out of play. Count still remains 3 balls, 2 strikes from Suter to Young. Come on, Cole. That doesn't mean that they've been reliable lately. You can have all the stats on paper, but that can be deceiving based on how they've been playing lately, not based on how they've been playing for the whole year with their numbers. And obviously, if you're a bullpen guy, you want your ERA to be as low as possible. You don't want to have any runs given up, if you're a bullpen pitcher. And you want it to be as low as possible. Obviously, easier said than done, but 3-2 pitch. Pop behind the plate to the T-Mobile bricks again. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Suter to Young. Bottom of the 7th, runners at second and third with 2 outs, 5-3 Mariners. And there we go. What a great at-bat there for Cole Young. And now we got bases loaded for Colt Emerson. Let's go. Fantastic at-bat for the 2nd-year stud, Cole Clutch Young. I love him. And next up is Colt Emerson with bases loaded and 2 outs. And now we're going to have a mound visit. Let's see if they make a pitching change here or if they just have a discussion. And Emerson is 2 for 3 today with a K. Had an error and made up for it, but let's see if he can really make up for it here with this at-bat. All right, Brent Suter, the former Red, on the mound. Colt Emerson, 2 for 3 with a K. Did have a throwing error to Naylor, but nobody scored. But let's see if Colt can get his 3rd hit of the day, and let's see if he can come up with his first grand slam in his career. First pitch by Colt. Little blooper. Yes, it dropped. Let's go. Let's go. Run, run, run. Woo! And a big RBI. Let's go. That scores 2. Woo! And that makes up for the Bizardo fucking meltdown. Let's go. Colt Emerson. It shows you how good Cole Young and Colt Emerson are. You know, having this dynamic duo is like having Julio and Cal for the very first time in 2022. Similar vibes, and we're getting 2 studs showing that they can do it on offense and defense, even though Emerson had the error today. Great job making up for the error. Orosarina scoring, Julio scoring, Young to second, 7-3 M's. Fuck yeah. Next up is Victor Robles. And now if we can get one more run, that'll make up for the exact meltdown that Bizardo had, giving up 3. Let's go. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes from Suter to Robles. Let's go, baby. And again, for 12-13 games, scoring 0-3 runs. Now we've scored more than 3 games in a row. And Robles with a big hit. Let's go. Let's go. Run home. Run home. Slide. Slide. Save. Let's go. Cole Young getting in there just in the nick of time. 8-3 M's. Woo! I was getting a little nervous there for Cole. You know, again, I didn't know if he had enough speed to get in there. And the throw was pretty close. You know, but again, slides past O'Hoppy, gets that hand in there. And again, I wanted us to get to 7 or 8. I guess the sports gods, they agreed. 8-3 M's, and now we get the 3 runs back that Bizardo gave up. And now it feels good. You know, I was pissed at Bizardo, but I'm feeling good now. Next up is Weston Wilson. Nice job there by Robles, you know, and again, you don't really expect anything out of Robles or Weston Wilson, and both have been able to help us win, which is great. 0-1 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Suter to Weston Wilson. And Weston Wilson had a 2-run RBI single in his last at-bat. 8 runs, 12 hits, and an error. Obviously, the error is the one downside, but again, for a team that was only getting 0-3 runs for 12-13 games, and we were one of the worst hitting teams after our 8-game win streak, which seems like years ago, we're definitely starting to tear it up. And again, no Brandon Donovan, no Luke Raley in the lineup today, no Dominic Canzone in the lineup, and we were still able to put up 8, and we're not even close to being done. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. And again, if we can, you know, keep this rally going, hell, we might even be able to get to 10 and beyond before this game is over. Bottom of the 7th, runners at first and second with 2 outs. 8-3 Seattle. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 2-2 pitch popped up and out of play. Yeah, but it helps that, you know, Connor Joe's in AAA, you know, and then Ref Snyder's on the IL, thankfully, because he stinks, worst player on the team. Still would be better to have Pareda over Garver, and also Master Boney deserves to be on this team. But, you know, even with no Dom and Luke in the lineup today, great job putting up 8 runs. And again, we need payback on this team that beat us 2 out of 3. Remember the Joe Adell game? We lost 1-0 and we hit 3 home runs and Adell robbed all 3. We lost 2 out of 3 earlier in the year, and this is a little bit of payback. And then we have the day off tomorrow because of the World Cup, and then we can end up getting the sweep if we can hang on to today and hopefully get that, obviously, with Bryce Miller on the mound on Thursday. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Weston Wilson, but not after Colt Emerson gets the fucking job done. 8-3 Seattle. Let's go. End of the 7th inning. 8-3 Mariners. Let's go. Next up for the Angels, 0 for 3 with a K in the top of the 8th inning. Jorge Soler. Batting second, 2 for 3 with a run, left fielder Wade Meckler. And batting third, 0 for 3, right fielder Joe Adell. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 20 subs to go to 24,400. Gained another sub moments ago. Appreciate you. 19 to go to 24,400. See if we can get a dono train going. We're only at 2. 98 to go. Let's see if we can get some support here. And let's see where we're at on the likes. We got 366 in the room. And we're at 187. We should be able to hit 200 likes before this is over. We can get 13 people out of 366. We'll be at 200. And we got Rucker coming in, who is part of the meltdown with Simpson. But hopefully he will pitch halfway decent with a 5-run lead. All right, Michael Rucker, the AAA pitcher, coming into the game. Next up is Jorge Soler. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. Top of the 8th inning, 8-3 Seattle. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. And obviously there's a reason why we have to go with a lot of these AAA guys. You have to remember, Brash, Criswell, and Vargas are injured. They're not going to be available till August. So that's 3 solid pieces that we would have over AAA guys like Simpson and Rucker and Davila and Hoppy. So, there's a reason why, he's bringing certain guys in. It's not necessarily on purpose, all the time. Sometimes he's an idiot, when you have a 4-1 lead and you go with back-to-back AAA pitchers. He should have been smarter than that. But Ferrer in that game, already pitched in back-to-back games, so he didn't want to pitch him 3 games in a row, but he probably should have, but again, injuries. And you got guys like Cade Anderson killing it in the farm. I mean, that could help the problem, but him and DePoto are, I guess it's too dumb to bring him up. They want to wait for him to dominate AA, which he already has, go into AAA, and I assume that we'll bring him up, after the All-Star break, but realistically, probably right before the playoffs. But, we could really use a solid bullpen arm, because, again, he's going to be in the starting 5 sooner than later, Cade Anderson. I mean, coming off a natty from LSU, he's given up 1 run in a month. I mean, we need help. It's very clear, but we'll see when it happens. Pitch fouled off. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Soler. Top of the 8th inning, 8-3 Seattle. 3-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. 3-2 pitch, and that is a walk. Not ideal. And Rucker struggling again like he did with Simpson in the meltdown game. Next up is Wade Meckler. I mean, hell, if we brought up Sloan and Cade Anderson, that would solve the problem, with some of the issues that we're having. And we definitely need to be buyers, at the deadline. We definitely need to get a couple pitchers to help us out. We don't want to be going into the playoffs with AAA guys. I mean, unless we're talking about guys like, Ryan Sloan and Cade Anderson. I'm comfortable with those 2 guys, but they're not even in AAA yet. It's crazy to think guys that are in like single A, high A, double A are better than some of the guys that we have in the pen now. Double play. Got him. Let's go. Great defense there to bail out Rucker. Cole Young, Colt Emerson, Josh Naylor. Bang, bang, bang. Let's go. Beautiful. Young to Emerson. And then a nice handoff and throw to Naylor. Beautiful. What a great double play. Way to bail out Rucker. Next up is Joe Adele. First pitch to Adele, high and away, 1-0 count. it's not just the management that is to blame, and the manager has to be blamed too, because he's the one that's putting the guys in. It's not like Dipoto is calling him, from the top of the booth and saying, bring this guy in, bring this guy in. That's Dan. Throw to first, and that is out number 3. But again, when you got a 4-1 lead, you have to be smart enough to not go with 2 AAA pitchers, and thinking that they're going to be able to close the game out, and then all of a sudden they give up, 4 or 5 runs, and then we lose the game 5-4. You got to be a better manager than that. And honestly, Dan is too passive. He's like Scott Service. They pull guys too soon. They let guys, go too long. They bring in the wrong guys. They're not Lou Piniella, and again, we're stuck with these guys until they can make a change. But I mean, I've been a fan of this team for 40 years, and Dipoto and Wilson are not good enough, long term. Now, is our team talented enough, even with a shitty GM and a shitty manager, to be able to make it to the World Series? Yeah. We still have enough talent to get there, but there's quite a few better general managers and managers that I would rather have than what we have right now with Dipoto and Dan Wilson. So I know some people might like those guys, but again, you probably haven't been a fan as long as me and others in the room, that we know what a good manager looks like. We know what a good front office looks like, and it definitely could be better. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning and see who's up next here for the M's. Let's see if we can add on another run or two and get into double digits. What do you say? Next up for the M's, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Time to get your first hit of the game, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, 3 for 4 with 2 runs, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a run, base on ball and a K, first baseman Josh Naylor. Trident's up. Let's go M's. You got to be able to, know, you have to have awareness. It's like when you go to a party and you got to read the room. Dan does not know how to read the room, and again, lately he's been making some smarter moves, putting Dominic Canzone at the 3, sliding Cow to the 6. That's a good move. But how many shitty, dumb moves has he made this year? A lot. So we can't let that slide, and again, it's either you're watching games or you're not. You're either watching every pitch like we are here, and again, you can come to a conclusion if you're, a fair weather bandwagon or an occasional watcher, but if you're a fanatic and you're watching all the time, we know exactly what's going on because fucking A, we're watching every pitch, every inning, every game. We're seeing every decision that's being made. And obviously some are good, but a lot of them are bad, and again, if we actually had a better manager, even with all the injuries, we probably would be 5 to 10 games above 500 right now if we had a competent manager, instead of being at 500 or, hovering right there, But injuries have been bad, poor base running, poor hitting, poor bullpen, poor pitching. It's all peaks and valleys. But I'll tell you, if we had a better manager, we would definitely be, at least 5 games above 500 right now, at least. Pitch popped up there by JP, and that is 1 away. I mean, there's been a lot of just, dumbass bullpen decisions, But again, we just got to do the best that we can with what we have, period. I mean, we all wish that we could have Lou Piniella, I mean, imagine if we had Lou Piniella right now. It would be a whole different type of vibe, someone that demands respect, but also someone that's going to go to bat for the players and hell, maybe pick up a bag and get thrown out. But we're okay with that. That'll fire the team up, but you'll never see that out of Dan or Scott Service. These guys are, trying to be friends with the players. We need someone that, is feared, but also respected. There's a different type. You don't necessarily need someone to yell, every game, for no reason, but again, you want someone that has a vibe and an aura to them. And, those two guys don't even come close to a Lou Piniella. That's facts. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. But again, decision-making, Dan Wilson, not the brightest. Just because you were a former player and you caught for Randy Johnson doesn't mean that you're going to be elite. But on, the flip side, there's a lot of shitty managers. There's only like 3 or 4 or 5 good ones out of 30, and they don't promote from college. It's like a guy gets hired, a guy gets fired. It's a former player. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're shitty, and, obviously we know with Dipoto, we would love for him to go. At least I know I would love for him to go and for Wilson to go, but it's not like either of them are going to go anywhere, at least not in the near future, you would think. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 2-2 pitch. Low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Some people understand baseball and some people don't. You know, but again, for people that have been watching for 40 plus years, I think we know what we're fucking talking about. Zephyr John on the mound, Julio Rodriguez in the box. Big swing and a miss for Julio, and that is 2 away. You know, and a good manager wouldn't be doing fucking splits, you know, and having, you know, Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone not fucking playing and playing guys like Connor Joe and Rob Refsnyder. Only a dumbass does moves like that. And then if you're going to do that, you do it only a little bit. And if it doesn't work, you scrap it. You don't fucking keep doing it, you know, and that's another sign of a dumb manager. You know, it's like, oh, righties can only hit lefties and lefties can only hit righties. My ass. You know, we know that Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone's batting average will be lower against lefties, but we sure as hell trust Luke and Dom more than Refsnyder and Connor Joe and these other shitty fucking players that he played. Give me a break. Bottom of the 8th with nobody on and 2 outs. Zephyr John on the mound, Naylor in the box. But again, it's either you understand baseball or you fucking don't. 1-0 pitch, low and away. You know, it's like, you know, with the Yankees and other teams like the Dodgers, you think that they would, you know, be substituting out some of their guys, you know, and again, it's like they're treating Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone like they're scrubs when they're 2 of the best players on the team this year. They should be playing fucking every day. And a good manager would have done that. Naylor with a nice single there in the center. Let's go. But again, that's the difference. But either you realize it or you don't. Oh! And Naylor almost fucking tore his ACL. Jesus Christ. And he gets thrown out at second. Why did Naylor try to get 2 there? Shitty base running. Goes into second awkwardly and almost tears his ACL. What the fuck is he doing? And again, trying to take a single into a double. And that is out number 3. Yikes. Base running has not been our friend for the most part this year. Guys falling asleep at first. Guys not getting a good jump, you know, going into second. You know, guys trying to make a single into a double. Like, what are we doing? You know, some of these things need to be, you know, addressed, but also we need to have, you know, a better first base coach, third base coach, which guys are there are respected, like Young and a few of the other guys, but they haven't earned their paycheck this year. I'll tell you that. All right, let's go to the top of the 9th inning with a 5-run lead, and hopefully we keep it that way. Next up, 1 for 2 with a run into base on ball, center fielder Josh Lowe. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI and a K, catcher Logan O'Hoppe. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a base on ball, second baseman in the 9-hole, Donovan Walton. Right ends up, let's go M's. All right, Andres Munoz coming in, baby. And let's see if we get the good Mooney. Mooney actually has been pretty good as of late. And again, yeah, has Mooney sucked at some point this year and, you know, been a bottom 10, you know, guy in the pen? Yeah, but he's starting to get better. And, you know, hell, if him and Castillo were at one point the 2 worst players on the team at one point this season have been able to get going, that's a good sign for us. And let's hope that we get the good Mooney here. I mean, we got a 5-run lead. So, again, usually when Mooney does bad, right, it's when we're tied or when we have a 1-run lead. But when we have a 2-run lead or more, he's usually really good. So we'll tell in the first 7 pitches if this is the good Mooney or the bad Mooney. But with a 5-run lead, you know, we can't afford to have another fucking meltdown. We already had one from Edward Bizardo, and we're not going to have another. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And again, we have the World Cup tomorrow, so no stream since it's in Seattle. And then obviously we'll finish the series off on Thursday, same time, same place, 6:40 Pacific. Let's go, Mooney. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Got him. There we go. And again, when you can end up getting 3 strikes, 2 strikes looking, and then a swing and a miss, you know he is on. Let's go. Nice job by Andres Munoz. And that is 1 away. Next up is Logan Ohapi. First pitch is fouled off by Ohapi, 0-1 count. That pitch fouled off, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes from Mooney to Hoppy. And this is one of the first times that we've seen Mooney with potentially, 5 strikes. I mean, a couple foul balls, but, we'll take it. Strike looking, big swing and a miss, and then the next 2 pitches fouled off. 0-2 count. Let's see if he can get this second out here. Let's go, Mooney. O2 pitch, popped up. Oh, we got that. That's either Young or Young is there. And that's 2 away. Let's go. And even with a meltdown by Edward Bizardo, we made up for it, thankfully. And nice job there by Cole Young. And last but not least, let's smoke his ass. 9-hole hitter, second baseman, Donovan Walton. Let's go, Mooney. And again, if we have any chance of going on a deep run and competing with the Yankees, the Rays, the Guardians, and the White Sox, we need Mooney to be excellent, especially after the All-Star break. First pitch is high and away. First ball for Mooney on the third batter. I like that. 1-0 count. But let's see if we can lock in here and get him out. 1-0 pitch. Little dribbler up the middle. Emerson is there. Ball game, baby! Big series win. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Final score, Mariners 8, Angels 3. Let's go. And I'm going to go over the stats here. Stats for both teams. I mean, Bizardo kind of lightened the mood a little bit, but we recovered, thankfully. Final score, Mariners 8, Angels 3. First time that we've been able to score more than 4 runs 3 games in a row after scoring 0-3 or 12 or 13 in a row. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win, Mariners win, Mariners win. Fuck yeah. All right, let's go over the stats here with the Angels first, and then we'll go with the Mariners. All right, Zach Neto, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Vaughn Grissom, 0 for 4. Nolan Shonowell, 1 for 4. Jorge Soler, 0 for 3. Wade Meckler had a good game, 2 for 4 with a run. Joe Adell, 0 for 4. Josh Lowe, 1 for 3 with a run. Logan Ohapi, 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run. And Donovan Walton, 0 for 3. And then let's go with the Mariners. 0 for 5 for JP, which is unfortunate, but at least we got to 8. Julio with a fantastic day, 3 for 5 with 2 runs and swinging at the first pitch on almost every at-bat, but it worked today. Josh Naylor, 2 for 4 with a run. Great job. Randy Arozarena, great job, 2 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI. Cal Raleigh, 0 for 3, but got a run. Cole Clutch Young, 1 for 3 with 2 runs and an RBI. Stud. Colt Emerson, 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. What a stud by Colt Emerson. Victor Robles, 1 for 4 with an RBI. And the guy that's the most surprising of them all, Weston Wilson, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Everyone contributing except for JP and Cal. And on top of that, no Luke Raley or Dominic Canzone today, and we still put up 8 runs. This one feels good. And we get to be above 500, so that always feels good as well. So final score, Mariners 8, Angels 3. We got the day off tomorrow, and then obviously we'll be back on Thursday, same time, same place, 6:40 Pacific. So enjoy the World Cup, And then we'll be back on it, obviously, on Thursday, 6:40 Pacific. And I believe Bryce Miller will be on the mound, and I like that. So love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Final score, Mariners 8, Angels 3. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Tridents up, and go Mariners.